Buggy, don't talk nonsense. How'd I treat you normally, have you forgotten? Huh, Shanks, thank you for taking care of me. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't eat devil fruit. That's what I ate, and it has nothing to do with me. Hee hee, Shanks, if it weren't for you, how could I eat devil fruit? Buggy, that's wrong, you'd still be eating devil fruit without me. Torn apart devil fruit is yours, always yours, never to go away. Wherever you go, this fruit is still yours. It's the same for breakfast and dinner, you can't blame me. Moreover, it was an accident. Whether you understand accidents or not, something that no one wants to happen, happened. This is an accident. If you encounter something with a very small probability, who do you think can be blamed? You don't claim to be lucky. Since your luck caused you to eat devil fruit, you can't blame me. You fart, Shanks, it's your fault. Buggy glared at Shanks. Shanks explained the truth calmly. Buggy, you have to speak well, can you not be rude? I'm going to give you winter melon tofu. Watch your image, Buggy. My uncle, you are a fairy. You. Shanks pointed at Buggy. Buggy exhaled fragrantly. I'll give you a banana, bara, and grapes, a cantaloupe. Uncle Ben is in a hurry, and Uncle Ben can say anything. You come, keep coming. Uncle Ben was speechless when he mentioned you. Don't give you any color, look, you don't know why the flowers are so red. In the bickering, Buggy has the upper hand. So Shanks couldn't refute, he could only swallow the bitter pill silently. Bullet read it for a long time and understood, Buggy is a good person. Buggy, you look happy. Bullet leaned behind Buggy and said coldly. Buggy swallowed hard. He knew that there was a terrifying figure standing behind him, and he didn't dare to look back. Bullet was right behind him, shouldn't he be messing with Shanks? Gulu. Fear. Frightened. Fear, and so on. He bit the bullet and turned his head back, forcing out a professional smirk. Hey, brother Bullet, why are you here? Want to wave, but can't. His body was suppressed, and it was already very good to be able to laugh. Bullet puts a hand on his shoulder, adding to the pressure. Oops. Buggy's small body lay on the ground and ate 2 mouthfuls of dirt. He remembered, Bullet's hand on him. Can't get up, Buggy wants to talk, but can't speak. Buggy, are you cool? Bullet let go, and Buggy struggled up from the dirt. He spat out the dirt in his mouth, and he was very angry, but he didn't dare to be angry. If there is any discomfort and pain, swallow it in your mouth. Brother Bullet, you can do whatever you want, younger brother will not have any opinions. You are the big brother, you have the final say. Men can bend and stretch. When you have to bow your head, you have to bow your head. How about a few more, brother Bullet? Okay. Bullet readily agreed, and put his hand on top of Buggy's head. Press down hard. Boom. Face the door, touch the earth. Buggy's nose was swollen and redder. Nosebleeds flowed from his nose, and the sudden impact hurt him very much. His pupils were red, and his tears couldn't help flowing. But he forced a smile and smiled back. Brother Bullet, are you happy? I would give anything to make you happy. Little brother, I can't do anything else, the best thing is to make people happy. Happy. Bullet came up with a twist, but, not happy. Buggy, legs clamped. Let me go, this big brother actually took a fancy to me. Could it be that he has some thoughts about himself? No, no. Shanks smiled happily when he saw Buggy's miserable appearance. Haha, Buggy, you have today too. Bullet is not a fool, so he will not be fooled. Didn't you play very well before? Now, I know it's miserable. Feng Shui turns, 30 years in heading and 30 years in hexi, you have suffered. Buggy sucks. Fortunately, Lousy is wise and safe, otherwise, Lousy will be even worse. It's too difficult to compete with them. No matter how many brain cells Lousy will be burned to death. Brain-burning actions, how much energy I expend to make myself safe. He, reaping the benefits of the fisherman. Chen Qingtian squinted. Shanks had the highest IQ among the three, followed by Buggy, and then Bullet. Buggy looks stupid, but in fact, he is the one who knows the situation best. If the situation is not right, immediately rebel. The wall grass Buggy God tier lives up to its name. Buggy is going to be miserable, but unfortunately, there is no camera. Chen Qingtian's camera disappeared, he wanted to buy one and take it with him. If this picture is taken today, wouldn't it be? In the future, I will have a lot of handles, and when they grow up, I dare to brag in front of me and teach them to be human at any time. Brother Bullet, don't mess around. Buggy panicked. He stared in horror at the stick in Bullet's hand, the one he had dug in. Exactly the same, Bullet doesn't want to do it yourself, just use it if you can. Neither end is easy to deal with. He turned over Buggy's body, stared at Buggy with a smile that look made Buggy collapse. Playing with the wooden stick, stroking the wooden stick non-stop, Bullet's smile is very scary. Lift it up, put it down. Do not. Halfway there, stop. Buggy breathed a sigh of relief. It's okay, he didn't do anything. My chrysanthemum was saved. Brother Bullet, don't do that, okay? I beg you, Brother Bullet. A humble Buggy god tier who forgoes all dignity. At this moment, begging, he didn't want to suffer that kind of pain. Terrible. He. Bullet giggled and dropped the wooden stick in his hand. Buggy's heart rose to his throat, ready to close his eyes. The stick stopped. The distance from his flesh and blood is just a finger away. Almost, if he goes down, he will be useless. Brother Bullet, please, brother please. From now on you can do whatever you say. Brother, if you tell me to go east, I will never go west. If you tell me to go south, I will never go north. I was so wrong to you before. I was wrong. I was really wrong. Brother Bullet, please, let me go. The last trace of dignity, it cannot be lost. Buggy. Why didn't you think about this when you touched me? Bullet thought of the image of his own humiliation, and he burst into tears. It was the most tragic past and the darkest moment of his life. Buggy has already made the psychological shadow come out. How could he let Buggy go? At this moment, all the humiliation I have suffered will be repaid. Buggy, howl. A stick is dangerous, and a bullet is also dangerous. Puff. At this moment, a chrysanthemum is broken, and the ground is full of injuries. Buggy, your pain, I accept it. Please don't cry, the pain is over soon. Ah, my uncle is going to die. Asshole Bullet, Lousy has nothing to do with you. What? On more than one occasion, Bullet was so inhuman. 3 times, that feeling cannot be explained in words. The Buggy boy admitted that he was soft-hearted and did not deal with them harshly. If he was given another chance, he would show the two of them what despair is. It's a pity that there is no if, there is only one chance. He was severely tortured, physically disabled and mentally exhausted. The Buggy boy was useless, lying on the ground, weeping silently. Woohoo. Bullet, you are too cruel to torture Lousy. Bullet, you bastard. The cussing continued. Buggy the clown stared at Bullet viciously, bastard Bullet, and kept hitting the same place. It was obvious that torturing him once made him uncomfortable, but Bullet, he kept torturing. Bullet smiled all over his face. That's what he wanted. The more aggrieved Buggy yelled, the more uncomfortable Buggy was. Boy. Didn't you make me feel good just now? Feng Shui turns around, this year to my house. Haha, Buggy, are you happy? Lousy serves you conscientiously, are you happy? Double the happiness. Thank you very much. Do you want to come again? Buggy shook his head. Damn, bastard, damn Bullet, he didn't come here. He still wants to continue, is he trying to kill himself? Bullet, you're almost done, stop messing around. Buggy said anxiously. You have already taken revenge, if you come again, Lousy will be angry. After the retaliation is over, it is a private act for you to come again. Don't blame me for not giving you face when the time comes, watch out for the Feng Shui turns, Bullet. Oh? Bullet squinted. Are you threatening me? Can I suspect that you are threatening me? Are you sure you want to threaten me? You have to watch the situation, Buggy boy. Now I am the boss, controlling the audience, don't make mistakes. Buggy bowed his head and cursed, but Karen had to bow his head under the eaves. I was wrong. Brother Bullet, can you go get Shanks, hasn't he been slandering you? Buggy shifted the object. For a person who slanders himself, I don't think you will not do it. If Shanks retaliates against you, it will be even more serious. Let me tell you, Shanks is stingy and will take revenge. He used to always tell me that you are a brain dead, looking scary, but in fact, you are a brain dead. Brainless, fool, you who have no brains, nothing but cultivation is cultivation, but the talent is not very good, no matter how you cultivate, it is impossible to compare with him. Buggy began to slander Shanks. This kind of crime cannot be borne by himself. You Shanks want to be alone, impossible. We are brothers, sharing difficulties and sharing blessings. Shanks had a black line on his forehead, and Buggy began to slander. Hey, Buggy, stop talking nonsense, when did I say Bullet is stupid? Seriously denying it, it is impossible for him to admit it. Besides, Shanks never said anything like that, it was all a lie made up by Buggy himself. It is estimated that no one would believe such a clumsy lie. Look, Brother Bullet. Shanks said you were stupid again. I didn't say that. I just expressed Shanks' thoughts. Buggy pointed at Shanks. I could see what was going on in his mind. Right now, he's calling you stupid. Are you not angry? If it were me, I would have killed him long ago. Bullet was so angry that he jumped, and he pulled out the stick. Walk up to Shanks, squat down, and lift Shanks' head. He looked directly into Shanks' eyes, trying to see what was in those eyes. It's a pity, Shanks' eyes are pure and flawless. Bullet watched for a while, but saw nothing. Buggy hurriedly said, he's acting, Brother Bullet, Shanks' favorite trick, he must be playing you. Don't believe him. Don't look into his eyes are very deceiving. Think about how many times I was deceived by him, every time he deceived me, but he said it as if it was true. For a person who likes to lie, they can change their eyes, even their expression and breath at any time. If you want to make a move on him, and do it viciously, he will naturally show his flaws. Buggy is adding oil and vinegar, constantly fanning the flames. Shanks hated Buggy, the bastard clown, who wanted to kill Lousy. Buggy, you stop talking. Buggy said happily. Did you see, Brother Bullet, he is in a hurry, hurry up. Hurry up, you only have 2 hours, if you don't do it again, when the time is up, you will be as miserable as me. Buggy's fate is miserable, very miserable. The first person is often the happiest, but also the worst. Constantly tortured and humiliated by the people behind. Double that. Shanks, I'm sorry. Bullet thought for a long time, and felt that Buggy was right. My time is limited, so I can't waste it anymore. You can't fall into Shanks' conspiracy, and you have to prove it to the old man. Wait, Bullet, don't do it. Shanks was anxious, thinking of Buggy's miserable appearance, he couldn't help shivering. Moonlight, Girl Township, your body is disabled. He didn't want to be that kind of person, his whole body was saying no. No, Bullet. Bullet smiled and said, I don't think it's okay if I don't do anything, but first you admit that you said bad things about the old man. Shanks. Silent. There are disasters on the left and right, and I stand in the middle of the disaster. At this moment, he has no choice. Everywhere you go is the wrong path. Come on. My time is limited, Shanks, I don't want to talk nonsense with you. As he spoke, Bullet held the wooden stick and stared at it. That place of yours looks nice and inviting. If the wooden stick merges with your body, will there be any unexpected gains? Shanks said fearfully, Bullet, allow me to think about it. You don't have time to think, answer quickly. Bullet was anxious, he saw the old man's impatient eyes. The old man is in a hurry. He wants the result, instead of procrastinating here for a long time and finding no one to speak ill of him. With Chen Qingtian's urging, Bullet sped up. Shanks was oppressed, and he couldn't find a better solution. Everyone stared at him, and his every move was watched by them. Well, if I admit it, you won't do anything to me. Before Shanks confessed, he made sure of one thing. Otherwise, he would not admit it. Would rather be beaten than bloom. Bullet nodded excitedly. That's right, as long as you admit it, I won't do anything to your place. Shanks couldn't believe him completely, and said again, if you do anything to my place, you will have no children and grandchildren in the future. If it was so cruel, Bullet frowned, gritted his teeth and nodded. Yes, he can accept the oath. That's fine, I admit it. Shanks gritted his teeth and said, I said the bad things, and it has nothing to do with you, Bullet. All things, I do my best. So, hit me up, don't open my place. In order to preserve his dignity, Shanks took the scapegoat. What a big black pot, black and heavy. Bullet smiled, and he nodded in satisfaction. Very well, Shanks, you admitted it yourself, and it has nothing to do with me. Grandpa, did you hear that? Shanks admitted that he was the one who spoke ill of you. Then, Bullet claimed the credit to Chen Qingtian, and he himself found the culprit who spoke ill of you. I have completed the task you gave me. Old man, you can't shoot at me. Chen Qingtian nodded in satisfaction. Very good, Shanks, you dare to speak ill of this old man, very good, very good. Then, gone. Bullet and Buggy blink, is that all? No more text? It shouldn't be, shouldn't you be very angry? Shouldn't you be punching Shanks? Watch what I do. I can do it whenever I want, Bullet, you don't have much time left, hurry up. Chen Qingtian kindly reminded Bullet, boy, your time is almost up. If there is something you want to do, something to do it quickly. Time waits for no one, you have to make good use of every minute and every second. Bullet's pupils constricted, time was running out, and he hadn't practiced torture on Shanks yet, If he let Shanks escape, he would be miserable. Shanks, I'm sorry. Shanks yelled in horror. Wait, Bullet, you said you wouldn't do anything to me. Are you going to break your oath? Bullet smiled. Haha, Shanks, don't be nervous, I won't do anything to you. What I Bullet said will not count. Don't worry, I will never do anything to you. As for me, I am trustworthy. Unlike Buggy Kid, there is no credibility. Bullet turned Shanks' body around, moving gently. Shanks confronts Bullet, and at this moment, he seems to understand what Bullet is going to do to him. He hurriedly said, Bullet, don't mess around. Body tensed, Shanks warned Bullet again and again. Asshole Bullet can't move a single part of his body, not even a hair. More dangerous thoughts, Shanks wants to stop him. No, Bullet, stop it. Bullet didn't stop. The stick is round and menacing. Bullet will treat Shanks as Buggy treats him. What your brother Buggy taught me, I give back to you. Shanks, enjoy yourself. I'll treat you well. Shout out, boy. Rubbing and rubbing, like the steps of the devil. The friction is fast, and the Bullet's job is to shape the stick. Whatever Buggy does, he will follow suit. Oh, yes, I almost forgot. The position is wrong, no wonder Shanks doesn't shout. Aiming at the direction and position, the next blow hits without fail. Use force. Friction is secondary, what matters is thrashing. Boom. The wooden stick hammered down and hit the bull's eye. At this moment, Shanks' purple face was resisting, and he stared at Bullet angrily. What? It hurts me to death. Ah, Bullet, you bastard. Bullet, you wait for lousy. It hurts so much. Heart-piercing pain. Unbearable pain. It hurts so much. At that moment, it was fatal. Bullet is not soft, torturing himself, beating himself. He's going to destroy his own body, so ruthless Bullet. Ha ha ha. Buggy laughed. That's it, abuse him, Shanks, F*K him. Don't give him face, lest Shanks think his face is valuable. Brother Bullet, you really are my hero. Shanks, you have a day too. Not everyone will give you face, Shanks. Ha ha ha, poor Shanks. Hit hard, Brother Bullet. Once is definitely not enough. For Shanks, it's just drizzle. You have to fight hard, and you can't let him go. With Buggy's alert, Bullet launched a second attack. Boom. Second fall. This time, heavier. Shanks' body was arched and curled up. Pain made him sweat, and he stared at Bullet. Those eyes were ferocious and full of killing intent. Bullet likes the look in Shanks' eyes, well, that's what a man should look like. Shanks, it's not me trying to hit you, it's Buggy calling. I don't want to do anything to you either. Hey, Buggy forced me, and I was forced too. In a word, Buggy forced me. If you have any problems, you settle accounts with Buggy, not me. By the way, Buggy Kid really wants to do something to you. If he didn't have time, he would have done it long ago. Bullet. Buggy, I won't let you go. Shanks snarled. Unbeknownst to him, Bullet still had a little time left. Hearing this sentence, Buggy said, Brother Bullet, did you hear that? He will not let us go. You should do it quickly, and don't give him a chance to do it. Yes, knock him out, don't give him a chance to take revenge. Bullet suddenly realized that he was going to be ruthless. Shanks, I'm sorry, but you forced me to. I don't want to be cruel, you are the one who wants to take revenge on me, and I was forced to do it too. Lift it up and beat it. Boom. This hammer is powerful. The ground trembled as Bullet hit with all his might, aiming somewhere. Fortunately, Shanks twisted away with all his strength and avoided the lure. He survived. Shanks survived the disaster with a smile on his face. Ha 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 ha, Bullet, Buggy, you're screwed. What you gave me, I will give back double. All the shame and injustice imposed on me, I will get it back. Time is up, the last second is up. Bullet, get down on the ground. It's only an arm's length away from Shanks. The three lay on the ground, being pressed down by Chen Qingtian. At this moment, they seemed to understand the danger. Buggy and Bullet looked at the sky, and they collectively said, Master, it's getting late, why don't we cook for you? You must be hungry. Buggy and I are very good at grilling meat. Do you want to try it? Can't give Shanks a chance, the two have to deal with the old man. He is the one in control of the audience, although he is a bit dark and sinister. But he is trustworthy. Oh? Really? Chen Qingtian looked at the two of them with interest. In order to avoid Shanks' revenge, they must stop Shanks from doing it. Great idea, great plan. Buggy said, Grandpa, surely you've never tasted a splintered roast. It's delicious. Bullet said, I can shape a barbecue into any shape you want, old man. In order to please the old man, Buggy and Bullet gave up all dignity and begged humbly. In less than a day, the attitudes of the two changed drastically, and they realized who was the boss and who was the younger brother. Listen to the boss. There is meat to eat. Going against the words of the boss, what greeted them was torture and humiliation. You don't need the boss to take action, just find someone to do it. The three people have a lot of thoughts about each other, and they all want to torture each other. It is best to have a day to torture them and trample on their fragile hearts. The time for Buggy and Bullet's ordeal is over, it's Shank's turn, and they want to stop it from happening. Torturing people, the two of them are enough, there is no need for a third person. After trying the pros and cons for myself, the more I don't want Shanks to do it. Who knows what Shanks will do with his hands? For a calm man like him, revenge will not be so simple. Buggy and Bullet reached a cooperation, and in an instant, they opened their mouths to provoke. Buggy. Shanks, he doesn't like you, old man, and always speaks bad things about you. I suggest not to let him have free time. Bullet. That is, a person who speaks ill of you will never forgive him. Buggy. Old man, we also have tempers, how can we let Shanks do as he pleases? Bullet. That is, we cannot pity those who betray us. Buggy. Look at Shanks, he's trying to get back at you, old man. Bullet. Shanks might attack you in the future, old man, you should think about it. The two men spare no effort, and they will do anything to stop Shanks. Even giving up what little dignity he has left to stop Shanks. The two cooperate to deal with one person. The alliance of the three of them has already fallen apart. Chen Qingtian narrowed his eyes, waiting for Shanks' answer. Shanks was pissed off, two bastards, for doing that. They are too inhuman, and it is enough for them to be comfortable, regardless of his life or death. Old man, I didn't speak ill of you, I was forced. It was Bullet who threatened me. If I refused, he would torture me and humiliate me. It's actually Bullet who speaks ill of you, and Buggy, who speaks ill of you when he sees you, and calls you a bad old man, no shit. Both of them said bad things about you, but I didn't, old man, you have to believe me. I, the heart of Shanks, can learn from heaven and earth. I didn't speak ill of the old man, not once. Father, you have to trust me. Give me face. Let me have free time to move around, and wait for me to clean up the two of them. Guaranteed to return you a well-behaved Buggy and Bullet, they will not confront you in the future. Grandpa, give me 2 hours, no, 1 hour is enough. Give me an hour, and I promise to train the two of them well. From now on, old man, they will do whatever you ask them to do. Shanks boasted. Even let them eat shit, they have to eat it, and they have to eat it. Shanks said, who dare not give me face? Yeah. 2 crows flew by. Throws a white cloud of bird poo in the air, hitting Buggy and Bullet. The two stared blankly as the lump fell on their faces and slid down. It seems that it is going to slide towards their mouths. At this moment, Shanks said, see, old man, even the crows are doing me a favor. Crow. You have too much face, you dare not give it. Buggy. Silent. Bullet. Silent. Such a strong fruit of face, even more powerful than the luck of Buggy God tier. Chen Qingtian applauded. Papa, very good, Shanks, since you have confidence, they leave it to you. I'll give you an hour, and you give me a good education. Jacketing all day, always contradicting what I said, the old man doesn't like this kind of person. I need obedient, clever, obedient and sensible people, you know? Shanks was ecstatic. Understood, old man, don't worry, leave this matter to me, and I promise to return you 2 well-behaved and sensible people. Guaranteed to complete the task. Definitely won't bother you. The opportunity Shanks had been waiting for arrived, and he finally got an hour. Shorter than the Buggy and Bullet, it's more than adequate. 1 hour is enough to do everything. He's not a waste of time like Buggy and Bullet. Shanks got up and cupped his hands to Chen Qingtian. Thank you, old man, for believing in me. Well, very polite. Yes, a good boy. Go, Shanks. Chen Qingtian waved his hand, giving him the greatest power. You do whatever you want, and I'll take care of you. Do it with confidence, do it boldly, and don't be afraid of making mistakes. Yes. Shanks saluted respectfully. The old man believes in himself, and he cannot live up to his trust. Buggy, Bullet, you're screwed. Finally it was Lousy's turn, and Lousy waited for this moment for a long time. Don't you guys like to make things happen? Do it, keep going. Buggy begged. Shanks, we are good brothers, you won't hit me hard, will you? Shanks narrowed his eyes. What do you think? Buggy said with difficulty. I don't want me to feel, I want you to feel, you are the boss, I will listen to you. Shanks, you will be the boss of my buggy from now on, I will do whatever you want me to do, absolutely nothing else. For the first time, he showed his loyalty, nothing else. He is the fastest of them all. Those who know current affairs are Junji. Buggy, don't go head to head. Hee, brother Buggy, who is your brother? You are noble and powerful. I don't deserve to be your brother. Why didn't you think that I was your brother when you did it? What did you do at that moment? When you made a cruel move, did you ever think about today? Buggy, I see through you. Buggy, no, your big brother Shanks. I want to cry, I really want to cry, I am so miserable. Why did the old man torture him so much? He gave everything and got 3 hours. As for them, they get free time without breaking a sweat. Wouldn't he be seen in vain? Buggy, tell me how you want to settle the grudge. Give you a chance to choose yourself. I don't want to do anything to you, after all, we are brothers. Buggy was in a trance, he shrank his head and asked, let me go? Huh? Shanks asked back, is it possible? Buggy knew it was impossible, he was testing, he was praying. Sure enough, Shanks was determined to take revenge on himself. Shanks, we're brothers, have you forgotten the days when we played together? The emotion card is played very well, as expected of you, Buggy God tier. Have you forgotten the days when we chased our youth together? In those years, we were bare-legged and wearing shorts, chasing the sunset together, how happy, free and comfortable we were. In those years, we went into the water together, looking for treasures, you go into the water, and I will protect you from above. That year, we were chased by wild animals, killed by birds, sprayed by various plants, have you forgotten? You are my brother, a good brother for life. Today, you want to use a butcher's knife to attack your old good things, do you have the heart? Let me just ask, do you have the heart? We're good brothers, Shanks. Tenderness, strong affection. Buggy caught Shanks' inner weakness and kept recalling their friendship. How many disasters we have survived together, how many beaches we have walked, how many sunsets we have chased, and we are here today. Now, you are going to kill me. Come on, kill me. Shanks didn't expect Buggy to do this. A dead pig is not afraid of boiling water. Good brothers are for protection, not for hurting each other. Come on, Shanks, I won't resist, you kill me. Buggy put on a pose and asked you to kill him casually, he would never resist. This scene stunned Bullet. I'll go, I can still play like this. 66,666. You have to be you Buggy kid to play like this. When I hit you, don't play emotional cards with me, it's useless. When you want to touch me, we are brothers, do you have the heart to do it to your brother? The contrast is great and the effect is not small. Shanks hesitated, moved by Buggy. This bastard boy spoke very emotionally. Shanks, don't be fooled, Buggy is fooling you. Buggy boy, I'm sorry, I'm going to give you a hand. Bullet smiled inwardly, he must suffer, Shanks won't hold back from him. Instead of letting yourself suffer alone, it is better to find someone to accompany you. Buggy boy, if you want to run, you can't. We either enjoy happiness together, or encounter disaster together. No one can escape. Why didn't he think he was a brother when he hit you? Have you forgotten how he treated you? Buggy is playing with your bromance, Shanks, don't take him at his word. You still talk about brotherhood, and why didn't he let you go before? Bullet's words woke Shanks up. I also hated Buggy, and Buggy said angrily, Bullet, what's the matter with you? This is the matter of our two brothers, we handle it ourselves, no outsiders need to intervene. Bullet mocked. What brother? Shanks and you are brothers, but you and Shanks are not brothers. Stop kidding, Buggy. What do you think you can fool Shanks without me knowing? Me, the spoiler. I won't let you escape, let's enjoy the torture together. The worse the Buggy, the better the Bullet. Brother, it is for sale. Buggy was furious. Damn Bullet, why are you messing up the situation? Can't you? Bullet sneered. I'm going to piss you off, haha, don't you get angry, do you really want to hit me? You come here. If you have the ability, you kill me. Buggy was so pissed off, he couldn't move, he couldn't do anything to Bullet. The grievances between the three of them ended at this moment. But in their eyes, they only cheat others. As long as I can trick you, I will be happy. Shanks, you don't believe what Bullet says, do you? Buggy asked looking up. We are brothers, Bullet is an outsider, you are on the brother's side. Shanks blinked. Buggy, I think Bullet has a point. Buggy. Bullet laughed. Ha ha, Shanks, that's what you want to do to him. He doesn't treat you as a brother. Why do you treat him as a brother? Buggy. I'm not qualified to be your brother, only me is your brother. Buggy. Ouch, Bullet, are you disgusting, just you? Hee hee. You are the one who hit hardest, so I have the nerve to say brother. Your existence is simply an insult to the word brother. Don't use your disgust to tarnish our brotherhood, our feelings cannot be destroyed by you, an outsider. Buggy, front or back? You choose. Buggy's eyes widened. Shanks, we're brothers. It's because I'm a brother that I give you a chance to choose. Shanks said. Others, I won't give him a chance to choose. You can be treated special. This is your treat. This kind of special treatment, Buggy would rather not. Can you beat me up and let this matter go? Buggy asked tentatively. Shanks shook his head, smiling broadly. Don't make troubles, this matter is impossible to pass. That place, his back, any part of his body hurts. Especially the pain in that place made him unable to move normally. Bullet hit him hard, trying to knock him out, but fortunately, he avoided it. Front or back? Repeat again, giving you options. If not, then come together before and after. Buggy stared at Shanks resentfully. How could you do this to me? We are brothers. Behind? No. The front? No, it's better to be behind. After thinking about it for a while, Buggy changed his mind. Let's go ahead, Shanker, take it easy. Taking a look at his own place, Buggy regretted. Let's go to the back, not the front. For the sake of his descendants, he can't move forward casually. Repeatedly, changing again and again. Shanks said directly, okay, the front is the front. Buggy raised his hand, trying to change his mind, but Shanks didn't give him the chance. Crouching down, staring ahead of him. Pulling off his pants, he took out the sharp wooden stick and aimed at that place. Buggy was scared, he said, don't, Shanks, don't hit, if you fight, I will be disabled. Why don't I show you one? He fought for his life. Shanks stopped, he smiled. Okay, let's just perform. Waiting is this. All Shanks wants is to watch the show, hit him, no fun. It can stimulate his mind, why not stimulate it? Buggy moved his hands vigorously and took off his pants. Small and very kawaii. Come on, Buggy, start your show. Buggy closed his eyes, nothing could be more humiliating than this moment. His heart was broken, but he couldn't refuse. Chen Qingtian looked over. Damn it, Shanks is the best, let him perform voluntarily. Looking closer, Chen Qingtian was extremely curious. Split. Well done. Shanks reached for one of them, and he caught it. Hold that piece and watch curiously, staring quietly. Chen Qingtian was stunned. F***ku, Shanks, you're a tough guy. This is to kill off Buggy. Buggy, silent. Whoops, how can I not merge? Split, unable to merge, Buggy tried several times, couldn't make it. He thought it was a problem with his own operation, and tried again, but it didn't work, and he couldn't merge. Puff. Hearing the burst of laughter, Buggy looked at the old man in doubt. Why did he laugh? Forgive me for being unruly and debauched and loving freedom in this life. How can I be afraid that one day? Shanks, it's almost enough to play, put it back for him. Chen Qingtian couldn't stand it anymore. Shanks was committing a crime. How could you do that kind of thing? It's not easy for Buggy to show you a splinter cell, so don't embarrass him. I can't stand watching it as a bystander, so be yourself. Hearing this, Buggy looked at Shanks' hands, and then looked down at his feet. A piece was missing, and Shanks played with it. No wonder I couldn't merge it myself, it turned out that a piece was taken away. How could he do such a thing? Buggy crashed. Shanks, what are you doing? Are you trying to kill me? Do you know what will happen to me if you do this? Hurry up and put Lousy back, it will hurt Lousy to death. Shanks continued to watch, but couldn't seem to hear Buggy's cries. You continue to perform, I want to see if you are missing a piece and can be merged. His idea is very simple, even a man would be curious. What do you want to say, Shanks, hurry up. F***k, do you want Lousy to die? Well you Shanks, never thought you were that kind of person. You've been expecting me to die for a long time, right? Bastard, put it back quickly. A minute later, there will be a little more surprise. Buggy didn't know what the consequences would be, and he didn't want to use his wealth as a test. Once something happens, how can I enjoy a happy life in the future? Shanks played with the piece of meat, and said with a faint smile, Buggy, I'm curious if you can merge with one less piece, and can it still be used after merging? One more piece, one less, it shouldn't be a problem, you have a try. Is this human? Is Shanks still human? How can he do such a thing? Does he have a conscience? Buggy was furious. Put Lousy back quickly, Shanks, are you going to fight Lousy forever? You can hit me, beat me, even trample me. Even my dignity, you can throw it away mercilessly. The only thing that can't be joked about is the body, that's the future of Buggy. Don't be in a hurry, don't be angry, Buggy, calm down, calm down. Unhurried Shanks continued to pinch. Yep, he squeezed it in Buggy's face. Buggy wailed, arching his body. Shanks put it back in place. Buggy, merge right away. He's afraid to perform for Shanks, damn it. Exploding with huge potential, Buggy moves quickly even if the coercion weighs on him. After completing the action in a blink of an eye, his pupils turned red. Shanks, you wait, How could he do this? He wanted his own life. It's not as simple as a joke. Shanks comforted. Don't be angry, Buggy. I'm not trying to kill you. I just want to see if your chop fruit is so amazing. Can you continue to use it if one piece is missing? I don't mean anything else, I'm just curious, don't be angry. I won't let you perform again, okay? Buggy, HMPH. Don't provoke me again, otherwise, I won't make it easy for you. Chen Qingtian is actually curious about whether it can be used normally. His eyes made Buggy flustered, and Buggy hurriedly said, impossible, don't think about it, it's simply impossible. If one piece is missing, even if it is lost, it is difficult to merge. His body, he still can't fully control. The development of chop fruit is not enough. When he can freely control devil fruit, he can recall his own flesh and blood at will. What is split can come back intact. Right now, it can't be done. He won't perform for them, they want their own lives. Don't be angry, Buggy. The old man is just curious, and won't really ask you to do such a thing. Chen Qingtian pressed his hand to comfort Buggy. We are curious, not to kill you. It's just training, if you can't do it, you can't do it. As for the old man, I am not responsible for your affairs, so it is better for the old man to walk away. The things between you, let you do it yourself. Shanks crouched down, continuing to watch Buggy. It seemed that he wanted to keep watching, hand, ready to move. Buggy, turn around. Don't show him, it's too dangerous, it's fatal. He wanted to move away from Shanks, couldn't, was too overwhelming to move. Hey, Shanks, can you stop looking at me, I'm afraid. Shanks smiled shyly, and he touched his head. Buggy, I didn't look carefully just now. Why don't you show it to me again? Bullet. Chen Qingtian, Buggy. F*K, it's really ruthless, I have to watch it again. Chen Qingtian and Bullet give Shanks a thumbs up. You are really ruthless, you are worthy of being Buggy's good brother. You hold nothing against your brother, so shocking. Buggy raged. Get out, Shanks, don't push me further. Lousy has performed for you once, and you want to do it again, are you looking for death? Let me tell you, if you force Lousy again, even if Lousy dies, he will get rid of you. A soldier can be killed but cannot be humiliated. If you don't humiliate me, you still want to kill me. If I don't resist anymore, how will others see me as Buggy? I, Buggy, would rather be broken jade than whole tiles. Shanks pressed his hand. If you don't give it, you won't give it, so why are you angry? You don't show me the show, I have to do other things. It's impossible to finish a performance. Compared with the pain he has suffered, it is not enough. Shanks shifted his gaze to Buggy, staring quietly. The wooden stick in his hand kept shaking, threatening Buggy. If I plug it in, will I get it in the wrong place? After demonstration again and again, Buggy was in a cold sweat. Shanks even planned to let him go. This is to drive him to death. What do you want? Shanks? Buggy asked angrily. Shanks smiled. Didn't you see that, Buggy, silent. The size of the stick didn't suit Shanks' aesthetics, and he thought he needed to find a larger branch. It's a third bigger than the original one, much harder than Buggy. Bullet. Silent. I'll go, you are really ruthless. The corner of Buggy's mouth twitched. Shanks, didn't you say you won't do anything to me? What are you doing now? Shanks widened his eyes. Is there such a thing? Who can prove it? Buggy. Shit, this guy doesn't mean anything. Bullet. Save me. Buggy begged Bullet to save himself, they were grasshoppers in a boat. You save me now, and when you suffer, I will save you. Only by helping each other can we be safe. If they fall in love and kill each other, both of them will suffer. Bullet also wants to help Buggy. Helping him means helping himself. Shanks is too much. He is too ruthless. I feel horrible when I look at it. If it falls on me, Shanks will be even more ruthless. He needed a helper to help him intercede, and Buggy happened to be the only one. He was about to speak, but Shanks glanced at him casually. A warning glance flicked away. It seems to warn him that you can help him, that if he escapes, you may suffer. Bullet smiled wryly, and he blinked, hoping Buggy would understand his difficulty. Buggy got it. He saw Shanks' warning that it was hopeless to seek Bullet. Grandpa, can you help me? Only this boss is not afraid of Shanks, and he is also his only life-saving straw. Chen Qingtian blinked and touched his head, turned away, did not answer his words. He didn't choose to help him either. They can handle their affairs by themselves. Oh my God, my world is falling apart. At this moment, Buggy broke down. They refused to be their own witnesses. One or two were afraid of death. Shanks, how can you say nothing? Shanks stared at Buggy, grinning meanly. He couldn't hear Buggy's words, so he compared them carefully. My buddy Buggy, do you like it? He is going to do it. Buggy shook his head. The whole body is in denial. Buggy held his breath and tried to run away, but couldn't. Shanks put a hand on him to prevent him from escaping. At this moment, Buggy panicked. Shanks, don't hold me down. You can't do this to me. I didn't do anything to you. Why did you do this to me? Shanks, we're brothers. Struggling, scared. Buggy let out a final roar. He was so unwilling. He blames Shanks, his good brother, for treating him like this. He is not human. Damn it, Shanks, you bastard. Lousy is going to kill you. At that moment, Buggy was desperate. Tears fell from the corners of his eyes, and he choked speechlessly. Feeling the breath of the earth, Buggy despaired of this world. The pupil lost its color. He is desperate. Why do I often have tears in my eyes? Because I love this land deeply. I lost my dignity, lost hope, and lost my last dignity and status. Buggy, without speaking, just stared quietly. Keep silent, quietly waiting for the torture. Since he couldn't resist, he could only enjoy it. What? Buggy, do you like it? Killing people. This is the real ruthless person, too ruthless. Buggy shed another tear. Shanks is too ruthless. How can he keep torturing him and killing people? Shanks, you will have your comeuppance. Next time, he will definitely take revenge on them and not give them face. Holding back from him was the worst thing I did. I'll pay back tenfold. Shanks, Bullet. The humiliation you have done to me today, in the future, I will repay tenfold. Buggy, there's no strength to resist. Shanks still wants to continue to torture. A minute without torture, he is not happy for a minute. Looking at the unresponsive Buggy, he had given up struggling. I'll let you go for now, My good brother Buggy, this time, I let you go. You have to remember my kindness, but don't attack me. He walked right up to Bullet, who was pale and trembling with fear. Move your body. Escape from this dangerous place. Stay away from that dangerous person. He can't get away. Shanks, with one foot on his body, lowered his head slightly. Smile. An ordinary smile, at this moment, so scary. With a forced smile, Bullet greeted, "How are you, Shanks?" "Hello, Bullet. Is it a very familiar picture?" "That's right, that's what you did to me. We are now reversed. I torture you instead of you torture me. Let's settle accounts carefully. Shanks, please don't torture me." The last plea, very humble. Bullet doesn't ask for anything else. He is really miserable. Can he let himself go for once? Shanks asked back. "If you were me, would you stop here?" Bullet's eyes darkened, and he wouldn't have stopped. If they don't do it themselves, when they have a chance, they will definitely deal with themselves severely. No one would miss the opportunity to trample on the dignity of others. The three of us are already enemies of life and death. That, mate, was a thing of the past. This month, they will cheat each other and murder each other. Whoever can have the last laugh is the final winner. A disintegrating combination. From when Buggy started to crumble, until now, the three of them are unlikely to work together. With evil intentions, they will betray each other at any time. Tell me, Bullet, how do you want to die? Shanks trampled on Bullet's dignity, trampled on it viciously. My revenge is specially prepared for you. When you tortured me, could you think about today? Buggy is disabled. Now it's your turn, Bullet. If you two aren't crippled today, he isn't Shanks. Bullet knew that he couldn't escape today, but he accepted it generously. Think about it. You will definitely not let me go, come on. Really, no man is afraid of death. Come on, I won't frown. Shanks couldn't help admiring. As expected of Bullet, he is much better than that kid Buggy, don't ask me. Bullet snorted coldly. HMPH, if it's useful, Lousy has already asked for it. Shanks with a heart of stone, my brother won't let him go, how could he let him go? Don't think about it, just accept the torture with peace of mind. Papa. Shanks applauded and laughed. Haha, Bullet, you are very enlightened. In order to thank you for the torture you gave me, I decided to give you a gift. A gift specially prepared for you, I believe you will like it. Bullet wasn't curious, he knew that Shanks must have prepared a new torture method for himself. Come on, let the storm come more violently. A real man never backs down or frowns. Puff. Ah. Damn Shanks, Lousy wants to. Bullet frowned, suffering the pain. Shanks took advantage of the moment when he lost his mind, and the timing was just right. All the accidents came so suddenly, so viciously. He is too ruthless. Instant action, not polite to him, torture Bullet directly. Bullet wanted to yell, a lot of swear words, a bunch of words came to his mind at once, but he couldn't say them. The young boy was humiliated again. Those who hear it are sad, and those who see it weep. That's horrible. Buggy wanted to laugh, Bullet looked so funny, he knew pain. Arch your body and resist physical pain. Shanks is not a human being, and he strikes instantly, without giving him a chance to react. Sneak attack is always the most eternal melody. The pain is countless times what you have seen with your own eyes. Suddenly, your body and mind are trembling. So tough Shanks. Poor Bullet, it's hard for me. The self-proclaimed good brother of Shanks, let him go, and he enjoys his own pain. This is what pig friends and dog friends are talking about. When it is critical, I will give you a knife. Having escaped himself, Shanks' hour was left to torment Bullet. It is the practice of the three of them to spread the rain and dew evenly. No one can be hurt less, and no one can be spared. Either nothing, or both. Chen Qingtian affirmed the behavior of the three of them, it's amazing. The painful places of the three people were almost all severely injured. The love and killing of the three of them will last for a month, and who will be the final victor? That place is definitely not guaranteed. How much strength can they improve in a month? Chen Qingtian waited and waited, he was waiting for the time to pass. An hour is almost up, he reminded. Shanks, there is not much time, you still have 5 minutes. You have to pay attention to time, don't waste any more. Shanks heard this and murmured in a low voice, I'm sorry, Bullet. The body was hit hard again. Puff. It was another sneak attack. As soon as I finished speaking, I started immediately. Bullet's body tensed up again, his 5 senses resisted. But the stick, go straight down. It was useless for him to resist, Shanks was too powerful to allow him to resist. What? Pain. The pain made Bullet cry out, and he couldn't hold on. The body curled up, he thought it would be gone after this time. Twice in a row, exactly 2 times. He was more ruthless than himself, he didn't consider his pain at all. Ah, Shanks, do you want to kill me? Damn, Shanks, you're so mean. Shanks tortured him like crazy and didn't think of him as a partner at all. Stick, stand up. He could see Bullet so miserable, so miserable. Unable to bear to look, he patted Bullet on the head. Bullet, I don't want to either, the old man forced me. I'm innocent, don't bother me, Chen Qingtian. This Shanks needs to be taught a lesson. Buggy. That's great, Shanks, that's great for throwing the blame. Bullet. Humph, Shanks, you wait, you're going to suffer soon. He decided to take revenge even if he lost his dignity. He will pay back 100 times the shame that Shanks gave him today. Isn't it just falling in love and killing each other? He is not afraid, nothing is worse than today. When the time is up, the three get down. This is the end of Shanks' free time, an hour has passed. Into the night, all 3 of them were suppressed. Chen Qingtian stood up and stood between the 3 of them and said, okay, today's training is over for now. I can see your efforts. If you have anything to add to today's practice, or if you are dissatisfied, you can speak up. The coercion disappeared, and the 3 got up. Trembling, struggling to get up. Buggy and Bullet go together and isolate Shanks. It's really that Shanks is too ruthless and unreasonable. We have nothing dissatisfied. Today's cultivation method is very good. Buggy and Bullet looked at each other and replied in unison. How can such a good thing not be avoided? They have to reach out and get it back in Shanks. Shanks said fearfully. Old man, I think we can change to a different way of cultivation, after all, this way of cultivation is too inhuman. Chen Qingtian smiled and said, inhumane? Are you sure you want to change? Seeing Chen Qingtian's smile, Shanks got scared. There is an ominous premonition that every time the old man shows such a smile, something bad will happen. What about you two? Do you want to change? Buggy shook his head. No need, old man, I think it's fine. I feel fine, Bullet said. Democratic decision-making, 2-1, your proposal is rejected. However, in order to take care of you, I deliberately set a precedent for you. Shanks stared at the old man eagerly. He knew the old man wouldn't watch him die. Well, I don't think you're hungry yet, so I'll give you another hour to learn from each other. Chen Qingtian estimated that it was still early for dinner. He has to prepare, barbecue and other various times, and he has almost an hour free. It just so happens that the three of them have nothing to do, so they can freely discuss each other. Chen Qingtian can understand their respective strengths, and then he can make better plans for them. You can't strike too hard. I don't want to see someone with broken hands and legs. At most, he vomits blood. Anyway, in a word, you can't delay your cultivation tomorrow. You can control everything else. Okay, you can fight whatever you want. No, it's a sparring. If there is any hatred, if there is any place to vent, now, you have an hour to vent. Let's go, boy. Buggy and Bullet looked at each other, and they flexed their muscles. Shanks stepped back, pointing at the two of them. What are you doing? The three of us compete, and the two of you can't unite, it's against the rules. Buggy sneered. Rules? In my place, I am the rules. Shanks, weren't you very pushy just now? Come on, keep pushing. My uncle has wanted to beat you for a long time. Last time, my uncle spared you. As for you, you are still so cruel to me. I can't swallow this tone. Bullet said angrily. Even, Lousy can't swallow this breath. We two are gentle, not too much, but you, don't treat us as human beings. Since you don't treat us as human beings, naturally we won't treat you like a human being. Shanks, get ready to die. The two charged and surrounded Shanks together. Shanks, run. If you don't run you will be killed. Shouting while running. No, old man, help me, they are going to kill me. Chen Qingtian ignored his shouting. I want to prepare dinner, but I don't have the heart to meddle in your affairs. When you humiliated them just now, you should think about now. So, be gentle in your actions, and stay on the front line when doing things, so that we can meet each other in the future. You didn't think about the consequences, just do what you want, no wonder they want to kill you. Don't kill anyone. Buggy and Bullet giggled. Got it, old man. Then, for an hour, it was just the two of them and Shanks alone. It was a friendly and loving exchange. Hello, Moose, is this Newgate? The voice of the phone bug rang, and Whitebeard, who was drinking, was having dinner with his sons and telling the happy things of the day. Everyone took a big wine bowl and put it on the ground, drinking and eating meat. On the huge ship, they sat in their respective places and laughed heartily. Little Pineapple took over the phone bug and answered the call. Hi. Hello, who is it? The voice passed over, and there was a voice on the other side soon. Is that Newgate? It's me, Roger. Geez. Familiar laughter, Bohemian. No one else had that laugh except that man. Newgate, who was drinking, heard a familiar voice. He answered the phone and took a sip for himself. It's me, Roger. What's the matter? A conversation between two tough men is a big deal. Pineapple-headed Marco stared at Papa, who stood by as a small guard. Marco paid close attention to their conversation. After the last cooperation, they separated and had no contact. Roger suddenly contacted. Maybe he wanted to attack naval headquarters. Jihaha, Newgate, I have some good news for you. I wonder if you have time to listen. Good news. Whitebeard Newgate froze. He thought about it, and it seemed that there was no big news recently. Since the demise of the Rocks pirates, the people on the ship have gone their separate ways. They are famous all over the sea, and among them, Golden Lion Shiki is the first batch to become famous. In the sea, his lion fruit can be said to be invincible. If you want to run, no one can catch up. Kaido and Big Mom don't know where they went, and they are probably developing secretly. Others, no news. Whitebeard himself also established the pirate group, galloping the sea and becoming one of the overlords of the sea. The relationship between him and Roger is not bad. They will discuss each other in the meeting, and they can also sit and drink together. Oh, what good news, let's hear it. Whitebeard didn't take it seriously. Right now, there wasn't much good news to shock him. Roger smiled and said, you have to sit still and don't be scared. Whitebeard urged. Hurry up, Roger, you think Lousy is you. Any news can scare you. Ha ha ha. Roger laughed loudly. I hope you can keep calm. Waited for a while. Roger's voice came again. I found him. Whitebeard Newgate froze for a moment. Who did he find? Lousy didn't ask you to find anyone, so don't be casual. Wait, he found it. No way. Did you really find it? The next moment, Whitebeard stood up and shouted excitedly at the phone. Roger, are you sure you found him? Eager. Changed from the previous Whitebeard. At this moment, his shock fruit shook the void, the sky, and the dark clouds receded. The sea, the waves are churning. The furious Whitebeard can be said to be so angry that the world changes color. It was the first time that Pineapple Head Marco saw his father furious, and he quickly comforted him. Dad, calm down. Father, calm down. Daddy, keep calm. The others were scared, and the old man became angry, very scary. Whitebeard said eagerly, Roger, where is he? Roger on the other end of the phone bug laughed, obviously feeling Whitebeard's wrath. He's here with me now, do you want to come over? What? Whitebeard was shocked. The man showed up, still with Roger. Doesn't it mean that that person appeared in New World? No, he can't sit still. I'll go over now, you let Lousy watch him, if he disappears, Lousy will only ask you. Whitebeard wanted to set sail immediately, he raised his right hand. Boys, set sail. Marco asked anxiously. Father, aren't we going to take a rest? Let's set sail now, will we? Yeah, Dad, Marine's watching us. Father, we'd better not move around now. Father, calm down. Others dissuaded them one after another. They were afraid that the father would be irrational and went to attack Marineford. It's too dangerous. If they go to attack naval headquarters, isn't that going to die? You know, that kid Garp is still in naval headquarters, and Sengoku, and all admirals are in the headquarters. Going now is very dangerous. Nonsense. Hurry up and set sail for Lousy. Lousy is not going to attack Marine, don't worry. Whitebeard knew what they were worried about, and said, Lousy went to find Roger. Not to trouble Roger, but to trouble that bastard. It's horrible, after waiting for so many years, he finally appeared. Did he know how many years Whitebeard had been looking for him? I don't think about revenge all the time. In fact, what happened back then is too shameful. Haha, Newgate, hurry up, I'll wait for you to come over. Roger told Whitebeard the address and told him to come over. Then, the two hung up the phone. Rayleigh asked curiously, Roger, Whitebeard is so angry, who is he looking for? The only stranger on their boat is Roger's teacher. That powerful old man. What does Roger mean by calling Whitebeard over? Judging from Whitebeard's reaction, it seemed that he had a problem with the old man. Hearing the old man's voice, Whitebeard couldn't sit still and wanted to rush over immediately. Didn't you guess it? Rayleigh. Yes, they are here to trouble the old man. Roger looked up to the sky and laughed loudly. Haha, that guy from Newgate is here, and things are getting interesting. He had been waiting for this day for a long time. After meeting, he couldn't do it himself. But Whitebeard and the others can, let them avenge themselves. When you think about it, it's perfect. As for the old man, he doesn't know what happened for the time being. By the time he found out, it was too late. Rayleigh was worried. Roger, is it really okay to do this? If the old man finds out that you are the one who messed up, will it? Such insidious Roger, why didn't he discover his insidiousness before? It turned out that his innocence was just pretending. No, you have to stay away from him, or you won't know if you are sold by him in the future. Rayleigh. Why did you go so far? Don't worry. Lousy will not betray you. If the old man is not too much and offended many people, I will not make such a foolish plan. Roger added. If I really want to make the old man look bad, I will bring Shiki and Linlin to beat the old man together. Rayleigh was shocked. Isn't it? The old man offended so many people? Golden Lion Shiki, Whitebeard Newgate, Big O Linlin, how many people did the old man offend? The enemy is all over the world, it's too scary. Roger sneered. Who knows, I know the old man likes to bully the weak. When they are young, offend them viciously. The old man doesn't care what the consequences are. He can disappear at any time, and even Roger knows his identity only after seeing the old man again. It is conceivable how well the old man keeps secrets. Moreover, that old man would pretend every time he went out. Otherwise, a bunch of people would have found him long ago. Marco, did you find anything? Why is Dad so angry? Diamond Chowsy asked in a low voice, afraid of being heard by Dad. It was the first time he saw his father so angry. Even if he was being hunted down by Marine, he was never so angry. The object of the anger is still a person, someone they don't know. Don't say that they don't even know many people, because this person has never appeared in the newspaper. It's not a pirate, and it's not a marine. An unknown person who can make Dad angry. If he says he's an ordinary person, no one will believe him. Marco shook his head. I asked, but Dad didn't say anything. Ida Nosegray did not get useful information. After hanging up the phone, Marco was curious about the identity of that person and what he did to his father to make him so angry. Didn't ask anything. Dad won't tell. There is only one possibility, and that is that the old man will not speak out. Marco can't handle it, and the others can't handle it. Dad didn't want to say it, even if other people forced him to. Joe's had a headache and couldn't figure out the ins and outs of the matter, so it was easy to make mistakes. But the old man refused to say it, he was sulking all by himself. Hey, I want to know too, but my father didn't tell me, so I didn't dare to ask. Marco said, Joz, go and test it, maybe you can smell it. You are tough enough to give Daddy a slap. I can't, I'm too weak. With a small body, he was crippled by a slap in the face of his father. Joe's rolled his eyes. Marco, don't fool me, how dare I go over with Dad like this? Ask for contempt. Joe's will not do things that seek death. Marco spread his hands. There is no way, Joz. I've done everything I can, the rest is up to you. I won't pass anyway, you want to know, pass by yourself. Joe's was helpless, and spread his hands. It seems that we can only ask Roger and them at that time, maybe they will know. Marco sighed. That's the only way. Don't tell my father, but ask Roger. According to the relationship between father and Roger, Roger must know the ins and outs of something. In the blink of an eye, half a month has passed. Since the Whitebeard pirates were dispatched, the situation on the sea has changed. Many pirates were ready to move, and they fought again and again. Marine didn't have time to take care of Whitebeard and the others. They dealt with the little pirates first, and then went to the big ones. Drago stood at the bow, staring ahead. Behind him came Garp. Dorag, are you used to it? For half a month, Dorag followed him and Xiaohei to do tasks, and saw many things that he had never seen before. Their relationship has been eased to a certain extent. Drago didn't ignore him, but told his father that he was confused. Drago responded and stared ahead. He didn't intend to ask his father many questions. Questions that cannot be resolved are tantamount to asking in vain. Father Garp is like this, Xiaohei aunt is like this, even Sengoku uncle is like this. Their answers are the same, and they all revolve around the word justice. Without justice, they will not answer questions. Solve it by himself. After losing his grandfather, he seems to be lost. Dorag, are you okay today? Garp asked his son. He stood beside his son, wanting to speak, but didn't know what to say. Drago shook his head, and he continued to stare ahead. Grandpa, where are you? Grandpa, is Marine really a place of justice? Why doesn't he feel justice in Marine? Darkness, hidden in the deepest part of Marine. What they look like is justice, but what they do is not justice. Some people are just, and some people murder others in the name of justice. These are not what he wants. In half a month, he saw a lot of crimes. Father can't solve it, all he can do is solve what he sees and knows. Others, the father can do nothing. Grandpa, what do you say is justice? Garp opened his mouth to explain, but couldn't begin. The word justice is not easy to say, and it is even more difficult to do it. They uphold their own justice to do it, but gradually lose the justice in their hearts. Dorag, I don't know how to say it. I can only say that relying on yourself, watch more, learn more, and think more, you will soon find your own justice. Everyone's justice is different. Garp sighed in his heart. How did his father take Drago? He is so smart. There are many questions, and Garp doesn't know how to solve each question asked. My mind can't hold too many things. Hey. Father, it is too difficult. Educate the troubled boy named Dorag. No, he is a smart troubled boy. He is not like a marine, but a philosopher. Suddenly, he missed his father. Father, where are you? At this moment, Drago was also asking, Grandpa, where are you? Lost the news of Grandpa, it seems that this person is gone. They looked for it and couldn't find it. After the old man left Marine, he must have disguised himself, otherwise, he wouldn't have quickly disappeared from sight. On the hill. 3 people lie on the ground with each other. There is a huge stone on their back. Pressing down on their bodies, Chen Qingtian stood not far away and waved a wooden stick. Get up quickly, you are too useless, you can't even stand up. I have led so many classes, and you are the worst class. Get up for me, if you can't get up too. One hit with a club, Bullet got up and spared the second. Shanks stood up quickly, prodded. Trembling, he stood up before the stick fell. When it was Buggy's turn, he wasn't so lucky. Boom. With a stick, he didn't get up. Another stick. He still didn't get up. Buggy remembered that the concubine couldn't do it. Boom. On the third stick, he gritted his teeth and couldn't get up. Too weak in stature, he is naturally inferior to Bullet and Shanks. Both of them are body training maniacs, but they are alone, greedy for fun, and lack of exercise. Now, I regret it. Oh, old man, stop beating, I really can't get up. He cried and begged not to hit him. No matter how hard they fight, they can't get up. After half a month of practice, the three of them have transformed. The carefree temperament was gone, they were cared for by Chen Qingtian for half a month, and everyone made progress. Buggy has it too, great improvement. Chen Qingtian smiled faintly. Buggy boy, half a month ago you couldn't compare to them, half a month later, you still can't compare to them, you are too weak. Can a real man fight? If you don't fight, how do you know you can't? Come on. Show me your manliness, stand up. A real man can't say he can't do it. You can. Come on. What? With a roar, Buggy must stand up and prove to the old man that he is not a waste. Thunder, little rain. The output is all based on roar, and roar is roaring, but his output is zero. It took a long time to make a fuss with the hands and movements, and finally, I got up lonely. Buggy. I didn't think about it either, it's not my fault that he can't get up. Shanks chuckled. Ha ha, Buggy, are you trying to laugh me to death? Bullet said flatly, I think Buggy needs a little pressure, like, you know. It is said that 1,000 years of death can inspire people's potential. I don't know if this trick will work for Buggy, but my suggestion to you is to try it once, old man. Shanks nodded thoughtfully. I think it's possible, old man. Buggy. Silent. F*K, you two old sixths actually want to do something to my chrysanthemum, and you agreed to help each other. This is how you help me. Chen Qingtian walked up to Buggy, looked at the wooden stick in his hand, and then looked behind Buggy. Buggy was so disgusted that he was sweating all over. He quickly said, Old man, don't move, I can get up. Give me a little more time. Don't do it, I'll get up soon, wait a little longer. Terrible old man, how could that stick be so thick? It's really going to kill people. 1,000 years of death, Bullet, you are too cruel. 10 seconds for you, come on, don't waste my time, Buggy. Chen Qingtian started counting, he didn't want to waste time. 1. Buggy panicked, the old man doesn't allow cheating. It's okay. Give you a chance to get up by yourself. I can't get up, I'm sorry, I want to help you get up. 2. 3. 4. He said 3 numbers at once, and the old man's counting was different from that of ordinary people. He thinks fast and fast, thinks slow and slow. There is no room for you to refuse. 10 seconds, after the old man accelerates, it is less than 5 seconds. Get up for me. Buggy gritted his teeth and urged his body to get up quickly. Chen Qingtian continued to count. 5. Hurry up, boy. 6. 7. In the blink of an eye, it's the 7th number. Buggy, still on the stomach, can't get up. The coercion was overwhelming, and the boulder made him breathless. It was so heavy and uncomfortable. But he has to stand up, otherwise, 1,000 years of death will serve him. 8. 9. There is one last number. Buggy wasn't up yet. He's going to be F*Ked. Chen Qingtian raised his hand, ready to strike anytime. Bullet urged, hurry up, old man, Buggy is stalling. Shanks reminded. Grandpa, it's time to count. The time is coming. Time to do it, don't give Buggy a chance to get up. Buggy with black hair, you two bad guys, just want to see me get 1,000 years of death. It's horrible, they want to see me joke, and I'm Buggy, but I don't want to show them a joke. I'm Buggy, and a man too. Drink. With a roar, Buggy supports his body with all his strength. The stone behind him, slowly getting up. Coercion seems unable to cause pressure on him. His legs trembled, his body trembled. Buggy gritted his teeth, even if his feet trembled, he still had to stand up. It's not to prove how powerful he is, but because he doesn't want to impress them. Drink. Stood up. Buggy, stand up straight. Carrying the stone, although his movements were ugly, he stood up. Buggy, stand up. Your ridicule is my motivation. Buggy, want to slap you both in the face. Ha ha, Buggy, stand up. Uncle Ben, stand up. Are you disappointed? Shanks and Bullet shook their heads in disappointment. It's a pity that 1,000 years of death couldn't be seen. Both of them are happy for Buggy, and his standing up means that the hard work all this time has not been in vain. Visible to the naked eye, the strength increased rapidly. The old man was a bit ruthless, but his method worked. In terms of physique alone, they have improved several levels. Buggy improved the fastest, and he was so weak that he could take a beating at this moment. Very well, you are doing well. Preliminarily met my expectations, especially you Buggy boy, you performed very well. I thought you would need 3 days to stand up, but I didn't expect you to really stand up. There is pressure to be motivated. You guys, if you don't force it, you won't exert your strength. Chen Qingtian was satisfied with their performance, everyone did well. After the first step is completed, they will start the next step of training. The plan needs to change, it can't stay like this forever. Persist for half an hour, and then you can rest for a while. In the afternoon, we will have a new practice. You have to be mentally prepared, the practice in the afternoon will be terrible. Chen Qingtian gave them time to prepare mentally, and he went to prepare lunch. Suddenly, he found Roger's ship, and he was so excited that he wanted to jump over it. Where's the person? Roger. Newgate looked for Chen Qingtian's shadow, but couldn't find it, and asked, I'll find you for a drink later, Lousy will go find that person first. When he came to the edge, he looked towards the sea, and a ship appeared in front of him. Then, he appeared in midair and flew forward. The children pulled him to keep him from messing around. His whereabouts are very secretive, few people know. So it was you who came, so I said who it is. You guys are free to exercise, I'll take a look first. Newgate stood at the bow, staring happily ahead. It's not easy to come. Who is here? Withdrawing the coercion of the three, Chen Qingtian stepped forward and disappeared in front of his eyes. The ship approaches and Whitebeard and Roger meet. Newgate came here in a hurry, and he didn't dare to stay for a moment, he was afraid that he might miss someone. A dangerous person has arrived, and Chen Qingtian doesn't want to meet him. Whitebeard came, just in time, neither too early nor too late. Roger, Lousy is here, ha ha ha. The ship has just appeared, and the coercion has arrived. Chen Qingtian muttered to himself, he was thinking, how did Newgate know that he was here? That bastard, Lousy will hack him to death. Roger waved. Newgate, the speed is very fast, I thought it would take you a month to arrive. Even Marine will not know his whereabouts. Not far away, there was a huge pressure. I hope it's not for me, Newgate. I haven't seen him for some years. I don't know if he wants me. It seems that he came prepared. Did he come to Roger, or was he looking for himself? For myself, I still give them exercise obediently. Whitebeard Newgate, I didn't expect you to come too. This coercion. The distance between the two is not very far, if they come here, half a month will be just right. It is unscientific for people to come to this small island. If it is slow, it will be about a month. He raised his head and looked forward. The coercion that tears apart the space is very strong. Seeing the flag, Chen Qingtian squinted his eyes. The arrival of this time is not a good thing. Leave other things to them. Inside, there was an ominous premonition. Don't worry, Newgate, drink first, come on, I'll prepare the drinks, we won't go home until we're drunk. Roger took Whitebeard to drink, but he couldn't let him disrupt the old man's training. The angry Whitebeard did not attack lightly or severely. Roger was afraid that he would strike too hard and cut the old man, but it was difficult to explain. Although he wanted to tease the old man and suppress his arrogance, Roger didn't want the old man to be too miserable. Just teach yourself a lesson, don't overdo it. Rayleigh also helped to persuade. Ha, Newgate, drink together, put other things aside, drinking is important. Calm down first, and then do other things. An angry Whitebeard is too scary, and he doesn't want the two of them to be too rigid. When the time comes, they don't know which side to stand on, one is the captain's teacher, and the other is Whitebeard. If there is a real fight, neither side will be easy to offend. In order to prevent the tragedy from happening, it is imperative to stop Whitebeard. Roger, Rayleigh, don't tell me anything else, I'm asking you, where are you? Newgate roared angrily. When Shock Fruit's ability was used, the surrounding space appeared a little crack. He clenched his fist and punched the surrounding space, and the sound of crackling spread. Their boat can't stand Whitebeard's pounding. Roger rushes out and Conqueror's Hockey opens to counter Whitebeard's Shock Fruit ability. When the two met, the smell of gunpowder was strong, and it seemed that they were about to fight in the next second. Marco got Rayleigh's eyes, and he quickly called Joz to stop Dad. Dad. Don't worry, don't be angry. Father, calm down, who do you want to find? Leave it to us. Yes, Dad, you don't need to do it, we will find it for you. Dad, you can't call. Roger is not a fuel-efficient lamp. Father, we're not here to make trouble. I came here happily, but I didn't expect to fight when we met. Neither the Whitebeard pirates nor the Roger pirates wanted to see it. When they fight, both sides suffer, and whoever wins will feel bad. Joz and the others don't want tragedy to happen, and the battle cannot begin. Newgate snorted coldly and withdrew his ability. He said contemptuously to Roger, "Hey, Roger, did you hide the man?" Roger said with a smile, "How is it possible? I can find someone for you anytime you want, as long as you calm down." Calm down. Don't be angry. If you have anything to say, wait until you see someone. Drink now, Newgate, don't worry, I'll take you to find someone after drinking. Newgate said, "You'd better not fool me, huh." Haha, Newgate, no one will fool you if Lousy fools you, come, drink. Newgate calmed down, and Roger quickly gave eyes to the brothers and prepared the food and wine. Hurry up to drink and eat, but you can't let the guests drink boiled water. Good wine, good food. The two pirate groups had a grand banquet, during which both Marco and Jazzy came to Rayleigh. Marco whispered, "Hey, Rayleigh, do you know the details?" Chow Z asked curiously. "Why is Dad so angry? Who provoked Dad? What kind of person did your captain find?" They were very curious about Chen Qingtian's identity. They had never seen Dad so angry. Even his former teammate Kaido, Golden Lion Shiki, Dad wouldn't be angry with them. It's just a few words of sarcasm at most, nothing else. It was the first time that they were so angry. For this reason, they rushed for half a month, running all the way, never in a hurry. Rayleigh touched his cheek. "I don't know, I'm also confused. Roger didn't say anything, I thought you guys knew the situation. But I know who your father is looking for. For the time being, you can't see him." Rayleigh took a sip of his drink, and he glanced at the two of them lightly. Curiosity, they all have it. The more curious you are, the more itchy you feel. It's uncomfortable, I endured it for half a month, but after I arrived, I was also in a daze. Marco asked. "Can you take us to see that person?" Joz nodded. To be honest, he was very curious. Who is the big man who can make them attach so much importance? Rayleigh looked at Whitebeard and Roger, pulled Marco and the others aside, and said quietly, "I can't tell you anything else. What I just want to tell you is that that person has a high status, and even our captain dare not get your hands on him." Marco was shocked and asked, "No way? So strong?" Joz was also shocked. Roger was so strong that he didn't dare to attack him. Just kidding, even if it's Marshal Marine, their father would dare to kill him. No way? Exactly the same as he was then, shocked beyond belief. "Hey, how should I say it? I'll tell you a little secret, you can't talk nonsense," Rayleigh said quietly. "He is our captain's teacher." Marco. Hiss. Joz. No way. The identity is amazing. But Roger said that his teacher is very strong, he was very strong before, and he doesn't know how strong he is now. Roger is strong to pervert, doesn't it mean? And there is a grievance with our father, this. Chow Z asked weakly. Then isn't his strength very strong? Josie and Marco's shock. Rayleigh guessed. Fighting is not good for anyone, not because they don't believe in the strength of the old man, but because the identity of that person is really too scary. Rayleigh, are you here to scare us? Rayleigh shook his head. I don't know, I just met him, and I haven't tested his specific strength. Rayleigh helped and said, I'll also make an interception. When the time comes, we'll see the situation. One can imagine how strong that person is. Roger said he was very strong, so isn't that really very strong? Are you kidding me? That kind of person is still alive? But the news came from Rayleigh's mouth, and he couldn't help but believe it. The two were shocked again. Hiss. To be honest, when I heard the news, I had the same reaction as you. I was shocked and couldn't believe it. If Roger didn't admit it, I still doubt his identity. The news is true, there's no way Rayleigh can play them. I go. The two were shocked and couldn't believe the gossip. They looked at each other, and Marco said to Joz, when we see something wrong, we have to act quickly, and nothing will happen. Speaking of this identity, the whole sea was shocked. Marco nodded obediently, he also wanted to know the specific strength of Chen Qingtian. Marco and Joz looked at each other. Roger was too scared to do anything because of how high his status could be. Rayleigh shook his head and said, "It's not how strong he is, but his status is amazing." They sighed, as left and right hands, they couldn't be as unscrupulous as the captain. "Dad wants to trouble that person, won't he?" Joes nodded. "At that time, we will intercept Dad together, but we can't kill him." Marco and Joz were shocked at the same time. What kind of identity is Roger's teacher? After dinner, Shanks looked back suspiciously. He seemed to sense a surge of energy, and the captain's Conqueror's hockey was turned on. Could there be a fight? It won't be easy for the captain to turn on the enemies of Conqueror's hockey. In the remote sea area, few people come here, let alone powerful pirates. It is even more impossible for Marines. Today's Marines are too busy for themselves. In the chaotic new world, there are many things waiting for them to deal with, and they don't have the mind to manage them. After thinking for a long time, Shanks didn't know who it was. He looked at Bullet, and Bullet also felt the impact of Conqueror's hockey. Although it was only a moment, he knew it was the captain's Conqueror's hockey. Feeling the coercion of hockey that they will never forget once, they can feel it from such a distance. "Did you feel it too, Bullet?" Bullet nodded. "Shanks, are we rushing over there? If there is a battle, they can't stay here to practice." Shanks shook his head. "No, even if there is a real battle, we will only drag the captain down in the past." Bullet sighed. "That's it too." The old man didn't move, which means the matter is not serious. The momentary Conqueror's hockey may have been accidentally opened by the captain. They should concentrate on cultivation, regardless of other things. Boom. Boom. Two people fly out. One punch at a time, Chen Qingtian's fist hit them accurately. The two fell to the ground and ate a lot of dirt. Buggy's quick reflexes, shattering and avoiding punches, he is now able to flex his fruit abilities. There is help, at least some attacks, he can avoid them. Haha, Shanks, Bullet, you guys are good food, you can't avoid this. Boom. After the words fell, fists greeted him. Use it in pieces, it's useless, punch it, and fly away. Logia devil fruit is useless here in Chen Qingtian, let alone your chop fruit. You have to feel the power of observation hockey. The three fell to the ground, they were beaten, it was miserable. The training after the meal was beyond their expectations. It was not the previous three people competing to exercise their bodies. Actual combat, direct combat, the three of them fought Chen Qingtian alone. So far, they haven't hit Chen Qingtian once. Clothes can't be touched, and every time, they are avoided. I asked you three, can you concentrate, and you dare to distract yourself from training with me. I think you are tired of work. Let me tell you a truth. During the battle, you can't be distracted. No matter what happens outside, don't look at it. Your enemies will not give you a chance to rest. Once they find a chance, they will disdain everything and kill you. This truth is sounding high-sounding. A sneak attack is a sneak attack, and you have to set up a plaque for yourself. Chen Qingtian stood among them, three people, three directions. Chen Qingtian knew why they were distracted, perhaps because he sensed the movement of Conqueror's hockey. Chen Qingtian guessed Roger's Conqueror's hockey instantly, and he also felt Whitebeard's shock fruit ability. It is estimated that they met and had a short exchange of ideas, which quickly subsided, and they probably went to drink. Whitebeard's time has come, and he probably came to look for me. Chen Qingtian understood that he was being targeted. It is estimated that his disciple Roger betrayed him, and he dared not hit the teacher, so he found a helper. You are worthy of being my good disciple. It is a pity that Lousy should have been beaten more in those years. Shanks got up. Old man, sneak attack is not an honorable thing. That's right. Bullet echoed, to be disrespectful to the old and to teach bad to the children and grandchildren. Buggy twisted his body and pieced together piece by piece. Chen Qingtian punched his torn body apart, it was too painful. The three attacked Chen Qingtian collectively. Chen Qingtian said indifferently, as long as you can win, nothing else matters. Whoever can have the last laugh is the winner. As for how to win and how to win, sneak attack or frontal attack, as long as you win. Fighting is not a game, there is no regret at all, and if you lose, you will die. I think you can understand that once a battle starts, it is a battle of life and death. If you lose, you will die. There is no second life and no resurrection. If you die, you will die. No matter how upright you are, death is useless. Only those who are alive are qualified to speak justice. Your awareness is not high enough, let me tell you what justice is today. Fist, another punch. You can't get used to them, Roger is too used to it, that's why he betrayed himself. His Majesty Chen Qingtian understands that while they are young, they should be well cared for. Otherwise, there will be a backstab in the future, and I don't want to be backstabbed again by my disciples. Boom. Boom. For the next half hour, the three fell on each other. One after the other, they fell and got up. They fell down again and again, and got up again and again. The tenacious will supports them, and they can't do without getting up. The old man hits too hard, and he will still beat you while lying down. Hit harder, specifically attacking weak places. The three of Shanks don't want to come anymore, they just finished talking. Chen Qingtian raised his head, he saw Whitebeard, the crazy Whitebeard, saw Chen Qingtian, he couldn't help it. Shanks. It's over. Laoyan is more than one, and the attack is not serious. Several people were disabled for half an hour, which was more intense than their morning exercise. What an explosive power, falling from the sky. Buggy was the one who was taken care of the most and was beaten constantly. They took a heavy blow and collapsed on the ground, unable to get up. Marco, Joz and others who were chasing behind couldn't catch up with Whitebeard's speed. The old man's fist was aimed at his body. The sky exploded. Bang bang bang. Buggy. I'm going, Whitebeard is here. Rayleigh was in a hurry, and behind him was the leisurely captain, walking behind him leisurely. Bullet. So strong. Oops, angry dad lost his mind. Holy crap, Whitebeard is so ruthless. Old man, eat lousy. He is not as good as Shanks and Bullet. Chop chop fruit is useful at first, then it is useless. That person, holding a knife, slashed down from above. Buggy. F*K, old man, can you stop staring at me all the time, I'm already miserable. Their eyes were unable to open due to the huge wind and waves, and a shadow appeared in the sky. At this moment, his strength exploded. It was so painful that he was punched several times all over his body. Marco, hurry up. The three of them clung to the soil tightly. The shadow gradually gets bigger, that is. A strong pressure came to suppress. For a moment, it seemed as if the sky and the earth were split. Whitebeard ran wildly, leaping up, knife in both hands. The more divided, the easier it is to be beaten. 3 people, lying on the ground. The clouds parted. The 3 of them flew out again. Old man, I'm not coming. Hey, Roger, hurry up. That Newgate guy is really ruthless, don't you want to stop him? Rayleigh said anxiously. Shanks and the Brats are there, if they are affected, it's not a joke. Roger wanted to go slowly, but when he heard this, he seemed right, the 3 little devils in his family were still there. Whitebeard's attack didn't matter how serious it was, with a single strike, the airwave alone could blow them up. It would be troublesome if innocent people were injured, or if they were blown out into the sea. Damn. Forget about the 3 of them, Rayleigh, you speed up. Roger, who swayed from side to side, walked very wildly. He seemed anxious, but there was no rush in his actions. Rayleigh was speechless. Can you hurry up and still go shopping here? Walking so slowly can't save people. You asked me to intercept Whitebeard, brother, can you be more reliable? Was Whitebeard's attack intercepted casually? Lousy's thin body and bones couldn't stop the attack. You can do it, Rayleigh, you see those little devils of Marco are going to intercept, can't you be better than them? As soon as Roger said this, Rayleigh was speechless. It's Marco, the sons of Whitebeard, who will take it easy. Being Rayleigh himself, Whitebeard might hit hard. Don't you know he always wanted to beat Lousy up, and Lousy didn't want to go there and get beaten up. Roger laughed. So you know that too, Rayleigh. I thought you didn't know that Newgate wanted to beat you up. Rayleigh snorted coldly. HMPH. The speed of the 2 slowed down. Rayleigh saw that Roger was not in a hurry, so he was in a hurry. Those 3 brats, you can figure it out for yourself. It's not that I don't care about you, it's that your captain doesn't want to care about you. After experiencing the horrors of Whitebeard, maybe you can push yourself up and train harder. Sky, torn. The strong wind hits the ground. The 3 of Shanks held onto the ground as they braced for disaster. The old man unhurriedly took out a sword, and the sword, which was hidden somewhere, suddenly appeared. With the sword in my hand, the old man turned his head and smiled. You 3 should take care of it. Especially you, Shanks, haven't you always wanted to play with swords? I'm in a good mood today, and I'll show you what swordsmanship is. By the way, you 3 don't get blown away, the old man can't control you. You have to look at yourselves. If something goes wrong, I can't control it. It was Whitebeard Newgate after all, and I couldn't be distracted by that man's shot. Buggy said in horror, Old man, can you take us away first? Shanks stared at Chen Qingtian's sword seriously, and at this moment, the sword skills that he had always demanded were finally about to be displayed. He wanted to see, to watch closely, but he couldn't close his eyes. This scene is hard to see once in a lifetime. If he doesn't leave, he will never leave. Bullet also wanted to witness a big battle. He really wanted to know how strong the old man was. Is that Whitebeard monster stronger, or the old man is better? His heart is inclined to the former. The strength of the old man is good, but unfortunately, he is old. He can't compare to the young and strong Whitebeard. Moreover, Whitebeard's strength is too terrifying. It is impossible for the old man to compare. It is not bad to be able to resist a few rounds. Come on, old man. If the two don't leave, they want to leave by themselves. Buggy cried and begged them. Can you two persuade the old man to leave quickly? It's dangerous here. We're going to die. Shanks, Bullet. Bullet and Shanks ignore Buggy's pleas. If you are afraid of death, you can go first. Buggy wanted to leave too, but couldn't. He was suppressed by the huge momentum and couldn't run. The faster you run, the more dangerous you are. Hey, aren't you two afraid of death? Shanks smiled back. Bullet greeted the disaster indifferently. If the two don't leave, he can't leave, so he can only stare blankly. Chen Qingtian raised his head and smiled faintly. Whitebeard Newgate, what a strong cut. Around, suppressed by force. His body seemed unable to move. Haki of Whitebeard, he releases them all. This knife contained most of Whitebeard's strength. He stared at Chen Qingtian, and the man smiled. Whitebeard also laughed. You are not afraid of Lousy, then Lousy will not hold back. Be careful, old man. Whitebeard was still concerned, he cautioned. The rest is out of his control. Once the battle started, he couldn't help it. Newgate, it seems that you want the old man's life. After so many years, the first time we met, you wanted to kill Lousy. It seems that you are still angry in your heart, and you still have a grudge against the old man. What happened back then was your own problem and had nothing to do with the old man. Hey, since you want to fight, then go for it. Just to test how strong your own strength is, and you can also try your own swordsmanship. I haven't used it for so many years, I don't know if it's rusty. Armament Haki, harden. The black armament Haki spread from the arm to the blade. The black blade of the ink radiates light. His eyes raised as the blade was raised. Hand. Lift it up. Boom. Boom. Collision. No, the blades did not collide. The blades of the two were stuck in the middle, with a distance of a fist. But it seemed to collide again, making a booming sound. The Naginata and Chen Qingtian's blades did not touch, but there was a terrifying sound. The three of Buggy clung to the soil tightly, and the trees around them all lowered their bodies. Cower bowed his head outward to welcome their king. Whitebeard laughed loudly. Quack, old guy, he's not weak. A familiar sword, exactly the same as Roger's. Did not touch, but touched. It's the collision of Haki and the sheer tear of their power. Blades are just secondary, the real fight is their Haki fight. You're not bad, Newgate. I didn't expect that after so many years, your strength has improved so quickly. Chen Qingtian pretended to be scared and said, I'm so scared, I'm afraid you'll kill me with one blow. HMPH, old guy, others don't know your strength, but Lousy knows it ruthlessly. Back then, you fought with Lousy, and Lousy was beaten so badly by you. Today, Lousy will find his way no matter what. These words came from Whitebeard's mouth, and the accuracy was beyond doubt. Back then, Whitebeard Newgate was beaten by the old man, and it was a very hard one. Whitebeard and Newgate still hold grudges in their hearts, so one can imagine how ruthless they are. Shanks raised his head, opened his mouth, and stared at the old man's back in shock. What? The old man beat Whitebeard up? This. What a terrifying strength, even back then, Whitebeard's strength is still terrifying, okay. The old man can abuse Whitebeard, how terrible was the old man back then? Unimaginable. Buggy opened his mouth in shock, he wondered if he had heard wrong. Maybe he was under too much pressure and had hallucinations. Hey, Shanks, Bullet, did you hear that? The old man beat Whitebeard up. Bullet couldn't believe it. He thought the old man was strong, so he just bullied them. I didn't expect him to be able to beat Whitebeard Newgate. Even Newgate many years ago was very strong. Back then, he was a terrifying figure in the Rocks Pirates, the second combat power. A man with such combat power was beaten up by the old man. If these words came from the mouth of the old man, they would think that the old man pretended to lie and deceive them. But these words came from Whitebeard Newgate's mouth, not fake. It really happened, otherwise, Whitebeard would not be so angry and come to trouble the old man himself. I'm going, it's too scary. Bullet stared at the scene with wide eyes. I didn't expect the old man to be so frivolous back then. Shanks sighed sincerely. Whitebeard, not everyone can be beaten. The old man accomplished the feat, beating first Roger, their captain, and then Whitebeard. The two strongest people in the sea were beaten by the same person. When the news spread, the entire sea shook. Marco, Joz and the others who were rushing forward saw Papa's attack fall, and the huge wind and waves prevented them from moving forward. I thought the old man would be beaten away, but unexpectedly, the old man blocked it. That movement, was exactly the same as Roger's. Joz, did you see that? I see it, Marco. Joz was shocked, is that Roger's teacher? The strength is really strong. So old, the strength can still be maintained. Seeing Chen Qingtian at first glance, they roughly guessed Chen Qingtian's age. Very old, strength, but not necessarily weakened. The most important thing was what the old man said next, which shocked the two of them so much that they couldn't close their mouths. Back then, Dad was beaten. The kind who was beaten by the man in front of him, hard. Looking at the appearance of the old man, something shameful must have happened, otherwise, the old man would not have held grudges for so many years, heard his news, and frantically rushed to trouble him. The two stopped at the same time. They felt that they waited for someone to go there to seek death, and their father came to seek revenge. The old man is very strong and does not need their help. Marco, let's watch the show slowly. Joz didn't want to go there, he didn't want to go there and get beaten. Well, Joz, let's stop, but let's go to the play. Marco saw Shanks and others from a distance, lying on the ground, struggling. Judging from their appearance, it seems that they have experienced a big battle. In the battle of being beaten, everyone has scars on their bodies, and comparing the appearance of the three people, we can know who was beaten. Isn't that Shanks and them? Joz pointed at the three of them. Marco nodded. Yes, it's them, let's watch the show with peace of mind. Behind them came Rayleigh and Roger, and behind them came the others. People watching the theater came one after another, and they all wanted to see the battle. Papa's frenzied fights, explosive energy, made them curious. Who is Papa fighting with? Who else can Captain Roger fight Papa with? They saw it, the scene of the collision, they all saw it. Hiss. What a terrifying power, so strong. I'll go. Dad's attack was intercepted. Very strong swordsmanship. His hockey is not weak. The people behind were shocked again and again. The people of the Whitebeard pirates were like this, and so were the people of the Roger pirates. They were all shocked, and they were shocked by Chen Qingtian's strength. It turned out that the old man was really strong. Marco worriedly asked Rayleigh, Mr. Rayleigh, won't you save the three of them? Three people, surrounded by fighting. It is conceivable that he was under pressure, and Rayleigh was still on his way slowly. Rayleigh touched his head. You see, our captain didn't plan to go there. Why should I go there? Wherever you go, you have to follow the captain. If the captain doesn't let you move, he won't pass. The captain is not worried, he has nothing to worry about. Marco had a black line. Huh. You guys are really big-hearted. If Dad fights, he won't care about their life or death. Rayleigh, I know, but I can't help it, can I? He couldn't afford to offend both of them. I won't pass by myself, let Shanks and the others bear it well. This kind of opportunity is rare in 10 years. Marco. Silent. Joz. Silent. Other people. AA. They all glanced at Roger, and sure enough, the big-hearted Mr. Roger didn't intend to help. He stood where he was, watching the battle with interest. It's amazing, the old man's prestige remains the same as before. Yes, Newgate, beat him hard. Hold him under me, Newgate, your strength is too weak, you can't even hit him. What about shock fruit, hurry up and use it. Nearly, the old man is still so cowhide that he can dodge this punch. Two people, start fighting. Whitebeard's knife, very strong. His fists are also very brutal. Same as back then, no, a bit tougher than back then. HMPH, old man, soon, you won't be able to laugh. Chen Qingtian clashed with his fist, nothing happened. Boom. And his observation hockey is still useful. The right hand holds the naginata, and the left hand makes a fist. However, Laozi's fists are not vegetarian. An attack with the ability of shock fruit, with a single punch, the ground will be cracked. Laozi had a good time, old guy. As for Whitebeard, he had a lot of fun, and he kept getting more and more fun. Go on. Lousy is going to beat you. After the fist touched, Whitebeard woke up. The old man's fist was really hard. The strength of the old man has not been weakened by age. Strange observation hockey. The real fight is the most passionate battle. Chen Qingtian smiled faintly. What's the matter? Newgate, are you scared? On the contrary, it was stronger, and the unconventional growth made Whitebeard shocked by 3 points. Haha, old guy, that's how you want to fight. Can't explain. Fighting and beating, Whitebeard realized something was wrong. Many hockey, before Whitebeard's powerful coercion, all failed. Do not understand. Chen Qingtian can predict his attack, observation hockey can't do this step. Very low pressure, shortness of breath. The battle between two people is a real personal battle. With a mocking look in his eyes, Chen asked Qingtian to speak without hesitation, and to say what he had. Oh, really? Shock Fruit's ability, use it recklessly. It was another fist clash, and the sword skills of the two clashed, but did not cause much damage. Whitebeard and Newgate's attacks all missed, and each time, they were dodged. Poor those 3 little ones, who were suppressed by the monstrous conqueror's hockey. His strength, and his defense surpassed those back then. Their hockey, at this moment, blooms. Why are you so strong? Flanking from left to right, bombarding with one punch, the space is shattered. HMPH, how can Lousy be afraid? Lousy is afraid that if he becomes serious, he will beat you to death. It's not easy to do business. Whitebeard got serious, something could happen. He was afraid that he would beat Chen Qingtian to death. After all, he was Roger's teacher. Hee, if you could beat this old man to death, you wouldn't be beaten by this old man like Kaido and the others. Chen Qingtian sneered, when you fought with each other, I still beat you until you couldn't find Bei. Today you alone people, the old man will be afraid of you. Talking about talking, I, Chen, are not afraid. Besides, I still have a deep memory of your shameful incident back then. Do you want the old man to help you recall memories? What if you forget? It's okay not to mention Kaido, but when Kaido is mentioned, Whitebeard and Newgate think of a bad picture. He and Kaido were lying on the same bed, all clothes were gone. How helpless he and Kaido were at that time, who knows? He never said anything about that day in his life, and it is estimated that Kaido will not say it either. The scandal of their life is also a shame for a lifetime. That kid Kaido is also looking for trouble with the old guy. Due to intelligence issues, he has not been able to find it. You managed to piss me off, old man. Whitebeard and Newgate no longer restrain his strength, he wants to explode with all his strength. It's you who courted death, but you can't blame Lousy. I have given you enough face and given you the steps to go down, but you refuse to go down. In this case, Lousy released the suppression and shot with all his strength. For a split second, Conqueror's hockey was unleashed at full force. Chen Qingtian also released his own Conqueror's hockey. After leveling up, the Conqueror's hockey was hardly used. After finding an opponent, how could Chen Qingtian let go of this good opportunity? 2 strands of Conqueror's hockey unleashed, booming. In an instant, the surrounding space was silent. Conqueror's hockey for just 2 people. The 3 little ones were so crushed that they couldn't speak, they lowered their heads and tried to support themselves. Only now did they understand how powerful the old man was, and the old man's suppression of them before was a trivial matter. The 3 people in the center struggled to support their bodies, as if their bodies were about to split apart at any moment. Damn, what a strong Conqueror's hockey. My uncle is going to be torn apart. Damn it. Lousy can't take it anymore. The 3 of them expressed that they couldn't bear it. Fortunately, Chen Qingtian helped them. The right foot trampled on the ground, and the soil on the ground moved with Chen Qingtian's mind. The bodies of the 3 were blasted out and landed in front of Marco and the others. Rayleigh went hand to hand, Marco to Buggy, and the 2 fell back quickly. They don't want to get involved in their fight, it's horrible. Putting the 3 down, Marco pushed Rayleigh. He's so strong, you know that? Rayleigh shook his head in confusion. I don't know either, I thought Roger was joking, but I didn't expect that. I remembered what Roger said to himself, the old man is very strong. He didn't take it seriously, thinking it was just talking casually, but he didn't expect it to be really strong. Especially when he heard some inside stories from that year, he was astonished. That's too strong, old man. Wheel fighting Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, they still beat them up violently, although I don't know what year it was, judging by Whitebeard's appearance, it must have been not many years ago. Look at Roger again, you don't share such a good thing, you are too inhuman. Roger scratched his head. That Newgate guy is stingy, don't let Lousy say it, otherwise, Lousy would have shared it with you, Rayleigh. Not my problem, Newgate's problem. Rayleigh complained. You can tell me secretly, this is big news, Whitebeard Newgate was beaten up, and you have to hide such a big thing. Roger rubbed his head. Haha, after all, it's not a glorious thing. When I heard it, I had the same expression as you. Well, that haughty Whitebeard got punched. Something embarrassing must have happened after that, and he wanted to know, too, but Whitebeard wouldn't say it. It must have something to do with Kaido and the others. Roger thought he would meet them in the future, so he must inquire carefully. Marco was stunned by the side, hearing some explosive news. Dad was beaten, he was already in shock. In his mind, no, in the minds of all their crew members, Dad was invincible. Nobody was a match for Dad, and they hadn't seen him deflated since the rocks went down. There are only a few people who can pose a threat to Dad. Roger counts as one, Garp counts as one, nothing. Just these two people, unexpectedly, a third one appeared suddenly. And this person really beat up Dad violently, and even beat up Kaido and the others. What a horrible thing, probably no one can do it now, right? It's so scary. The Dozong powerhouse is so terrifying. Joes and the others kept gasping for air, they were so shocked. The unbelievable happened, and Dad didn't deny it, and that was real. It's terrifying. Marco said in horror. Feeling the aftermath of their battle again, Marco felt the strength of the old man. Very strong, the two fought for a quarter of an hour, regardless of the outcome. And it seems that in a short time, it is impossible to end the battle. Dad had a great time playing, and the more he played, the more excited he was. It looked like he had met his opponent. Don't give up. Chen Qingtian, too, tempered his will and strength, and he found that he had many shortcomings. During the battle, it was gradually exposed. The level of swordsmanship is still low, less than level 90, only level 80, a big difference from level 90. Actively exercising, it is difficult to improve. At this level, it is very difficult to improve one level. Half an hour passed. Their battle continued. Chen Qingtian was calm, without the slightest panic. There is no problem with the speed of dodging and the accuracy of prediction. Dodging again and again, his actions became the target of ridicule by everyone. It's so chic, so elegant. Buggy's eyes widened, and he said in admiration, it's amazing, the old man is too strong, Shanks. Shanks pushes away the shaking Buggy, you can shake yourself so excited, why shake me? I see, Buggy, can you calm down? Buggy. I can't calm down, Shanks. Bullet chimes in. Shanks, it looks like our goal is going to fail. It was too strong, and he also lost confidence. It is probably difficult to get revenge. The old man is too strong, look at Whitebeard Newgate, he can't even pose a threat to the old man. The old man who was strolling in the courtyard looked relaxed. What a powerful observation hockey. Rayleigh said in shock. To what extent the old man's observation hockey has been cultivated, he can even avoid this level of attack. His observation hockey is also very strong, and he can't do what the old man does. It's just too strong to compare. Other people's is called observation hockey, and my own observation hockey, that is, the color of knowledge and knowledge, is not hockey. Shocked? Roger laughed beside him. The old man's observation hockey has been watched several times, and he was shocked several times. Too strong. Surpassing the observation hockey recognized by ordinary people. In the past, they could use observation hockey in the early stage, but the number of times they could use it in the later stage was limited. Even, it doesn't work, not as good as armament hockey and conqueror's hockey. Armament hockey is the most used hockey. It can be learned through personal practice. The difficulty is not high. If you want to practice to a high level, you need to devote a lot of time to practice. It also requires a unique comprehension ability. Without it, it will be difficult to enter the next level of armament hockey. Not to mention the conqueror's hockey, the probability of 1 in a million is not something everyone can comprehend. Only those who have the qualifications of kings can comprehend it, and whoever comprehends conqueror's hockey is not a strong one. Relatively speaking, observation hockey is useful in the early stage, but limited in the later stage. Even, many people don't use observation hockey in the later stage. Because it is tasteless, it can be used against the weak, but it is almost useless against the strong. You haven't seen the power of observation hockey before, so you think observation hockey is weak. In fact, observation hockey has been cultivated to a high level and is very strong. You can see how strong his observation hockey is by looking at the old man's movements. Even against someone as strong as Whitebeard, observation hockey is still useful. One is to keep attacking and not find Chen Qingtian's position. Chen Qingtian can always predict one step in advance. And Whitebeard's prediction is behind Chen Qingtian's prediction. I once heard the old man say that he said that if observation hockey is cultivated to the highest level, there will be unexpected gains. It is said that it can predict the future. Roger's words shocked everyone present again. The first time they heard this kind of statement, when others said it, they thought it was a joke. But from Roger's mouth, the authenticity of the matter is beyond doubt. Rayleigh asked, "Roger, have you reached that level yet?" Roger shook his head. "If it's so easy to get there, there won't be so many people who don't know about it." Roger lamented that the old man was very knowledgeable, he could answer any questions you asked. "It has been so before, and it will be so in the future." Growing up and seeing more, I feel that the old man's words have profound meaning. Words that seemed crazy before are now the truth. Undoubted truth. Among them, there is the power of observation hockey, which can predict the future. Roger has never seen anyone who can do it. Before, he thought it would be difficult for anyone to do it. Now that he saw the old man's actions, Roger knew that the old man's observation hockey could predict the future. Rayleigh opened his mouth wide. "Roger, what do you mean?" "That's right, you read that right. The old man's observation hockey has been cultivated to the highest level, predicting the future." Roger added, "It may only be a few seconds to predict the future, and it is enough for us. Predicting the future is limited, and it is impossible to predict infinitely. It is also impossible to predict for too long, just a few seconds. During the battle, a few seconds in the future is enough." That's why Whitebeard's attacks failed again and again, and Whitebeard also realized the problem. Roger's words shocked everyone present. It was the first time for them to see someone cultivate the tasteless observation hockey to this level, which was too rare and incredible. Marco. "I'll go, isn't it too strong?" Joes. "Is it still human?" Buggy. "The old man is awesome." Shanks. "I can only say that I have learned something from the old man, and it will be useful for life." Bullet. "As far as gymnastics is concerned, it is enough for me to learn for a lifetime." Roger. Silent. "You are feeling too much, 1 or 2 are worthless. Can you learn a little more, just the same, do you have the nerve to say?" The three of Buggy didn't dare to meet the captain's gaze, and bowed their heads one after another. What a profound observation hockey. Whitebeard sincerely lamented that the strength of Chen Qingtian's observation hockey was beyond his expectation. His every move is under his control. Unable to escape the future, his actions were seen through. It's so boring to fight. Keep fighting unless they want to destroy the island. When the fight was almost reached, Whitebeard tested Chen Qingtian's strength, and he knew that it was meaningless to continue. It will only let oneself consume physical strength, and one's revenge may be in vain. Can you fight head-on, don't hide. Stimulate it, maybe it will work. Chen Qingtian said with contempt. Newgate, you are young and strong, but this old man, when you are old, will not fight you head-on. Hit me head-on, I'm afraid you'll get hurt. He kept saying that he was old, but he was very vicious in his actions. Whitebeard despises Chen Qingtian, the old guy, every word is true. HMPH. Whitebeard punched, and punched a few more times, he still had to support himself even if he didn't give up. The next punch can hit him. With this luck, he continued to punch. Without exception, all were empty. The attacks failed again and again, and the future was predicted time and time again. Whitebeard doesn't want to fight anymore, it's boring. Forget it. Stop fighting. Lousy is convinced. You old guy's observation hockey can predict Lousy's movements, Lousy can't hit you at all. In other words, your old guy's life-saving ability is really strong, Lousy doesn't bother to fight you. It's so obscene. A steady man, struggling all the way. As for strength, it is stronger than before, but he is still wretched. Can avoid, absolutely not tough. After playing for nearly an hour, it was so boring, I was consumed, and he was calm. Do not fight? Do not fight, you sure? Sure. Chen Qingtian stepped back, keeping a distance. Sure enough, Whitebeard caught the moment he let his guard down and shot. Dodging, came to Chen Qingtian, holding the shock fruit ability in his left hand. The white light condensed on the fist, gradually getting bigger. Compressed to the power of ultimate, at this moment, bloom. Chen Qingtian couldn't dodge this punch, can only be hardwired. Helpless, Chen Qingtian clenched his fist. Armed color hardened. Armed color winding. Armed colors flow. High-level armament hockey, at this moment, shows his fangs. Chen Qingtian's fist was as black as ultimate, and a darker red was faintly seen. Punch. Boom. Punch right. The two punched with all their strength. No effort left, all attack. Whitebeard Newgate's complexion suddenly changed, what a powerful force. His shock fruit ability is shattered, followed by a liquid armament hockey. It's the power of emission, damn it, the old man's armament hockey has also cultivated to a very high level. And what happened to that power and when did it appear? Devil fruit has the ability to retaliate against injuries, hitting me is equal to hitting yourself. The nostalgia of the earth is activated, and a steady stream of power is drawn from the feet. This punch, on the contrary, did not have an earth-shattering explosion. The fist collision of the two was a confrontation of strength, without any other strange abilities mixed in. Flesh on flesh, bone on bone. The power was so great that the two paused for a moment. Whitebeard and Newgate exploded with stronger strength, and he wanted to blast Chen Qingtian away. Touching his fist again, Whitebeard found the feeling, and he kept dodging before, so many of his attacks were empty. Old guy, you have to fly out. Whitebeard sneered, you know nothing about my strength. You're not ashamed to fly out in front of everyone. After all, Lousy is Whitebeard, known as the strongest man in the world, and currently is. The power of the shock fruit, Whitebeard used it with ease, and the sound of the shock fruit shattering suddenly burst out from his fist. Whitebeard wasn't stupid enough to actually use force against Boom, he wanted revenge, How can we fight cleanly, just win? Chen Qingtian knew it wasn't that simple. Whitebeard, an old villain, was more sinister than himself in his heart. He even secretly possessed the ability of shock fruit, he wanted to beat himself up for a long time. It's you who should fly out, Newgate. You were beaten up by me back then, and today, you cannot escape the fate of being beaten up. Your sons don't know how they feel when they see you being beaten to the ground. You have hidden power, and Lousy has also hidden a hand. Lousy knows that your kid will not attack openly. The two old yins clashed against each other, and their strength exploded again. The people next to him couldn't understand the change. Roger and Rayleigh looked at each other. Rayleigh lowered his voice. Neither is fuel efficient, Roger. Roger laughed and said, Newgate will also use damage moves, it's incredible. The old man is sinister and black-bellied, he has always known it. Whitebeard will suffer, he can't beat the old man. It is equivalent to an upright person, but he can't beat a villain who hides in the dark. The old man is very insidious, as long as he can beat someone, he can do anything. Rayleigh was surprised and said, no way? The old man is old enough, so he won't still use bad tricks, right? Roger shook his head. You don't know him, Rayleigh, he will definitely use it, just watch. The others stared at the two fighting fiercely. In the fierce battle, they can't intervene. The old man and Whitebeard are too strong, and every punch and bombing brings tremendous pressure to them. They also saw the insidious confrontation, and Marco felt relieved. Father has finally grown up. Joes nodded. Yes, I have finally grown up. I'm really afraid that Dad will suffer a lot if he does what he did before. To deal with some insidious people, use insidious moves. You can't be polite with them. For example, the man in front of you is sinister and vicious, you talk about integrity with him, and you will be betrayed by him in minutes. Newgate, look down at your feet. Chen Qingtian suddenly said something, he reminded Whitebeard that there was something under his feet. If you don't watch it, you will regret it forever. Whitebeard looked down, his pupils constricting for a moment. F*K. He spat out a sentence of national quintessence, and only saw the ground with a sharp thorn sticking out. This is followed by a series of spikes that shoot out from the ground. His body was instantly surrounded, and sharp spikes passed through his body. Chen Qingtian let go of his fist, and pulled back the distance. Boom. Stone surrounded by spikes, shattered. There was a shattering sound, and Whitebeard's shock fruit ability exploded. His Naginata comes flying, and a furious Whitebeard takes the hit, seeking revenge. Old man, you are still as mean and shameless as ever. Chen Qingtian smiled as he retreated. There is no such thing as despicable in fighting. As long as Lousy is alive, Lousy is an upright person. Whitebeard Newgate, silent. Marco and others, silent. What a touching speech, what a warm word. After they listened, they couldn't help but take a second look at Chen Qingtian. What gives you the courage to say things like that and still feel like you're okay? Give it up, Newgate, fight on, you'll only get beaten. You are not my opponent, stop fighting. As for us, it's almost enough. Whitebeard said angrily, Lousy will hack you to death. Chen Qingtian had no choice but to fight Whitebeard with his brain. Give you another half an hour, and you may not be able to kill me. Half an hour later, Whitebeard was numb. There was no need to fight head-on. Chen Qingtian stood in the distance and kept harassing him. The spikes on the ground pierced Whitebeard's body, his clothes were torn, and there were many scars on his body. It's just a small wound, and it can heal anyway. The two fought for so long and were not seriously injured. As for his appearance, he is still the same as before. He is well maintained, or he is young. My pants are all off, you show me this. I don't want to pursue what happened back then. With that in mind, Whitebeard felt relieved. What about them? Do you want to continue watching the show? As for Rayleigh, arrange for others to carry the wine and prepare the banquet. Joes touched his head and asked with a question mark, what's going on? Unlike young people, a little thing can kill you. Unexpectedly, you are also old. After so many years in the blink of an eye, Lousy thought you were dead. After another half hour, Whitebeard gave up. The three little ones were taken back for treatment. They were the most seriously injured and the only three injured at the scene. Whitebeard's relationship with the old man eased, and they sat down to drink together. Drink and eat meat. Was pulled numb. Take out the wine bowl, pour wine, 1 bowl of wine per person. There is nothing Chen Qingtian can do. If he continues, he is just being dragged around. Forget it. Lousy stopped hitting. You don't have to run away, it's really too wretched. The battle ended so quickly that no one expected it. Brothers, bring the wine. Have a party. That man and himself are not revenge for killing his father, but just humiliation. Roger leaned over to have a drink together, and the three of them sat together. When people are old, they also want to take care of themselves, and they will no longer stare at those little things and worry about them. He observed Chen Qingtian carefully. His hair was gray and old. It was over so quickly, it was over in the blink of an eye. Wretched man, don't hit him head on. Whitebeard doesn't want to hit him anymore. Chen Qingtian sat beside him and handed over a jug of wine. The battle is over. No one cares about them, just hold a banquet when it's time to hold a banquet. Who doesn't want to be happy, drink and eat meat? At their age, many things are not as good as a few friends. Marco and the others thought that a real battle was about to break out, but who knew it would be gone? Marco asked. Not only the two of them, but the people behind them also looked confused. Sit down and stop hitting. It's over, Marco, Jazzy. Rayleigh patted them on the shoulder. Sometimes, some fights are like this. The banquet was held lively, and the two pirates held the banquet together. Eat and drink together, a rare gathering. The next time, I don't know when it will be. This is the first time and the happiest time. There is not much hatred between them. It should be said that their captain has nothing to pursue, and no one has great ambitions. One is to find a son, to protect his son with peace of mind, and to protect others by the way. The other one may be to live with the situation and move towards your dream by the way. It's not like Rocks, who wants everyone to obey his orders. Above the sea, he is king. Whitebeard drank a bowl of wine, young and strong, he could go crazy when drinking. 1 bowl of wine was 1 sip, and he drank 3 bowls of wine in a row, and he still couldn't get enough of it. Grabbed Chen Qingtian's drink and drank it, feeling comfortable. By the way, what's the relationship between you two? Roger found him all of a sudden, still in such a place where no shit. It doesn't matter, no one will believe it. Whitebeard seriously doubts their relationship. Is it father and son? After taking a closer look, it's impossible, the two are not alike at all. It was the first time for him to observe Chen Qingtian up close. He took a closer look and felt a little familiar. It seems that he has seen Chen Qingtian somewhere. Is it his illusion? What do you think our relationship is? Chen Qingtian asked jokingly. Whitebeard said. First rule out the father-son relationship. You don't resemble each other. It can't be father and son. Instead, I think you look like someone. Suddenly, I can't remember who it is. It looked familiar, definitely someone he knew. And, the relationship might not be bad. Roger is not your disciple, is he? Whitebeard thought of a possibility, teacher and disciple. Roger is young, and the old man is a bit older. According to their moves, it is not difficult to judge. Roger smiled and nodded. That's right, Newgate, I didn't expect you to have a good brain. Lousy thought you wouldn't be able to guess. Whitebeard curled his lips. Lousy is not brain dead, it's so obvious that you can't see it. Lousy has lived in vain all these years. However, how could you be his disciple? Whitebeard was shocked. He was indeed shocked. Even though he thought about this possibility, after getting the confirmation, he still couldn't help being shocked. Roger's strength is very strong, and his talent is also very strong. It is not easy to rely on his own strength to get to where he is today. And behind him, no one educated him. Whitebeard didn't believe it. It's just that Chen Qingtian, this old man who looks very shameless, turned out to be Roger's master. Why not? Am I bad? Roger said, pointing at himself. Whitebeard shook his head. It's not that you are bad, but that you are very strong and smart. How can you have such a teacher? God is really blind. Chen Qingtian glanced at Whitebeard lightly. Are you sore? This old man taught Roger to be such a good man. You are sore, Newgate. Don't envy the old man. Ha ha ha. If the old man teaches me casually, Roger will be able to, ha ha. It's not that the old man is too strong, it's that Roger is too smart. It may be that the old man has a good eye, and he saw Roger's extraordinariness at a glance. You know the talents with the eyes, you don't understand the loneliness of the old man. Whitebeard. Silent. Good guy, you got it. Hateful. Humph. Lousy is not envious or bitter at all. After taking 3 sips of wine, Newgate was still angry and continued to drink 3 more sips. The anger in his heart was still there, and he continued to drink. It's so annoying. Seeing Chen Qingtian's smile made him even angrier. How can there be such a shameless old guy, he? Old guy, lousy. Whitebeard stared at Chen Qingtian, carefully, seriously. Under the influence of the drink, he seemed to think of that person. Contrast. Overlap. For an instant, Whitebeard Newgate opened his mouth and pointed at Chen Qingtian. Fingers trembled, lips quivered. He couldn't keep calm, and it took him a long time to catch his breath. Garp? He asked Roger weakly, is it Garp? Chen Qingtian is very similar to Garp. If you don't look carefully at first, you won't notice it. The old guy has the attribute of ignoring himself. Anyone who sees him will ignore his appearance. After comparing them, Whitebeard found out that Chen Qingtian and Garp are very similar. No way? Whitebeard stood up in shock, in disbelief. The loudness of his voice startled the others. Marco came over and asked Dad, what's the matter? Whitebeard kept shaking his head. Impossible, how could you? How could that bastard Garp be your son? How could it be? Absolutely impossible. You, Garp, Roger. For a moment, Whitebeard thought of many things. He is sour. The old guy has sons, and Garp is said to have fathered a son. There are a lot of children and grandchildren, and there are outstanding apprentices, but I have nothing but Marco and the others. Father, what nonsense are you talking about? How could the old man be Garp's father? Marco retorted to his father. When he saw Chen Qingtian's appearance clearly, he was stunned. Standing still, pointing at Chen Qingtian's appearance, trembling all over. The two were stunned. It turned out to be true. The old man in front of him is Roger's teacher and Garp's father. Garp is a marine, and Roger is a pirate. The two have achieved good results in their respective fields. This? Are you kidding me? How is this possible? This kind of thing is not funny at all, Marco laughed to himself. He hoped that what he and his father thought was not true. Chen Qingtian's words gave them despair. Haha, I didn't expect you to find out the old man who hid so deeply. That's right, that kid Garp is indeed the old man's son. Chen Qingtian complained. That kid didn't cause you any confusion, right? Tell the old man will deal with him severely. Ha ha. Look up and drink. His voice was so loud that everyone present heard it. Joe's. Whitebeard pirates, silent. Roger pirates, silent. Everyone was shocked again. This news was too shocking. Garp is the old man's son, and the Whitebeard pirates, who heard the news for the first time, were very noisy. No? That is not true, is it? Is he really Garp's father? Garp, oh, Marine Vice Admiral Garp, his father turned out to be him. How is this possible? My goodness. Everyone was shocked. They opened their mouths, the wine was no longer mellow, and the meat was no longer fragrant. Appetite, all gone. This news alone is enough. Big news, big news. When the word spread, there was instant turmoil outside. Chen Qingtian pressed his hand and said, okay, as long as you know about this matter, don't talk about it. It's okay to bother the old man, don't bother my son Garp. I believe you are all good boys and won't talk nonsense. Marco. Haha, we definitely won't say it. Joes, don't dare. Whitebeard. Pass it on, Lousy has forgotten what he just heard. Yes. For Marco and others, the number of shocks today exceeds the number of times in this life. The shock of identity, the shock of the old man's strength, and the shock of Garp. Each shock is enough to make them dumbfounded. They didn't want to hear the shocking news, but when they got close to their ears, they heard the news naturally. Whitebeard, Newgate, too, gulped down his drink to soften his shock. He was really shocked and watched Chen Qingtian several times. You are lucky. All the shock can be summed up in one sentence: life is so good. To be honest, Whitebeard Newgate is envious of Chen Qingtian. He has good disciples, and he also has an outstanding son and grandson. With a full house of children and grandchildren, he is the winner in life. A person who has reached the pinnacle of life, even when he gets older, he is still full of smiles. And myself, alone, only a group of useless godsons, one or two are not worrying. It's too difficult. Discipline is difficult to discipline, one or two are thorns. Haha, my life is not good. If you only have one son, your life is good. With so many sons, they will all die for you. Chen Qingtian spoke the truth. Whitebeard's son did kill him, and one of them stabbed Whitebeard himself. Send him back to the west, then regret it, be deceived. And Whitebeard, forgive him all the same, a son of no use, with a simple head and strong limbs. HMPH, your mouth is still so poisonous. A word can choke someone to death. Whitebeard has seen it before. To chat with Chen Qingtian, you must have a strong mental capacity. Otherwise, you will be pissed off by his words. You know what? Shiki, he's been looking for you. Whitebeard glanced at Chen Qingtian and said calmly. Golden Lion Shiki is frantically looking for Chen Qingtian. Since Shiki left the Rocks Pirates, he has reached the pinnacle of his life. He became a big pirate, and became a man who galloped through New World in one fell swoop. After becoming famous, Golden Lion Shiki kept looking for Chen Qingtian's figure, and he wanted revenge. The humiliation Chen Qingtian gave him was too great to accept, and every time he thought about it, Shiki would wake up from his sleep. Even in order to find Chen Qingtian, he did not hesitate to ask Whitebeard and the others. As long as there is a little information, he will never let it go. Chen Qingtian's situation is very dangerous, and people everywhere want to make trouble for him. Chen Qingtian touched his head. Why do you hold grudges so much? Can you let me go? Isn't it because I beat you up back then, so it's necessary to remember it all the time? Whitebeard Newgate rolled his eyes. Did you get beaten up? Have you forgotten what you did back then? That incident back then became a shame that Golden Lion Shiki could not wash away in his lifetime. He will never forget it in his life, and he still has a handle in Chen Qingtian's hands, so he has to look for him. It can be said that several of them are miserable, one more miserable than the other. These were brought by Chen Qingtian. For this reason, they spared no effort to find Chen Qingtian. What did I do back then? Chen Qingtian asked knowingly. Newgate was speechless. He took a sip of his wine and said, You not only beat him up, but also cut his hair. Do you think he cannot trouble you? It is said that some of those hairs were pressed by Chen Qingtian. Golden Lion went crazy for these hairs. Puff. Puff. Roger and Rayleigh sprayed out at the same time. They turned their heads and stared at Chen Qingtian in shock. This? You? The two were shocked, right? Even Shiki couldn't escape the fate of being beaten. The hair was also cut, and the two of them dared not imagine that scene. Shiki without hair looks like a hooligan. Too spicy for the eyes. Old man, you were too good back then. Roger sighed. It's so awesome. Okay, this is what people do. No wonder the Golden Lion Shiki is crazily looking for trouble with you. If it were them, they would do nothing in this life, but they would find you for revenge. The shadow of life, if Chen Qingtian is not killed, the hurdle in his heart cannot be overcome. Rayleigh gave a thumbs up. It's amazing, you are the best, old man, I admire you. Can you not admire it? It's just ruthless. Jabba was drinking next to him and didn't speak. He was a qualified listener and didn't express any opinions. Marco's mouth was wide open, and he was stunned for a long, long time. Stars pop out of the eyes. Worship, the old man is awesome. The invincible old man is so strong that he has done so many awesome things. Everything that is said can be earth-shattering. The wife is awesome. F*K, was the old man so brave back then? It's a ruthless person, they can't imagine those pictures. Joe's is going crazy. What news has he heard today? All of them are so earth-shattering. It's unbelievable. The people the old man offended were all big shots. Whitebeard, Newgate, Roger, Golden Lion Shiki, Aunt Kaido, etc., none of them are strong. Pulling out anyone at will can shake a sea area. Among them, Golden Lion Shiki is the most classic. The proud man can't wait to carve the word, proud, on his forehead. As proud as he is, he can't escape the fate of being beaten and humiliated. They are too miserable. So what about the old man? How was he humiliated by the old man back then? The two thought of this, looked at each other, curious, wanted to know. They knew that the old man would never speak in his life, and neither would the old man. Very curious. I want to know too, Marco. Joes laughed. They were relieved. Dad didn't care about it, and they and others didn't care about it either. How could Whitebeard and Newgate not know what they were thinking, and glanced at them, telling them not to dwell on this matter? In the future, it cannot be mentioned. It was his shame, his sadness, and he didn't want his sons to know about the past. It's very bad. Before I came, I leaked the news to him. You won't blame me, old man, will you? Whitebeard said casually, his eyes were full of smiles. Lousy knows that I can't handle you, so I also found a helper. Surprised or not? Surprised or not? Chen Qingtian. F*K, are you still human? To do such a thing? Newgate, you. Pointing at Whitebeard, Chen Qingtian was dumbfounded. How can you do this? If you do this, I will die. Chen Qingtian didn't know what to say, so he glanced back at Roger and Rayleigh. It's all right now, you see. How to solve it? If the lunatic Golden Lion Shiki comes, it won't be so easy to solve. He's not as talkative as Newgate, and when he's mad, nobody works. Roger touched his chin. It seems that I have to stay away from you, old man. Rayleigh nodded thoughtfully. I agree with you, Roger, old man. I think we should separate after eating. You are too dangerous. Enemies are everywhere in New World, and they will be more dangerous with the old man. It's better for everyone to separate.